about many of his actions, but does regret the impact the allegations have had on the people around him. 24 civil lawsuits filed against Watson, alleging inappropriate sexual conduct. 2 days before teeing off at the U.S. Open, Rory McIlroy said he understands why some aging players were tempted by millions of dollars in signing bonuses to join LIV Golf. Also said he's disappointed that some PGA Tour players took the easy way out in joining the rival's Saudi-backed series. He was also asked if he still respects Phil Mickelson.
As a golfer, no. I think he won a major championship 13 months ago. Am I disappointed he's taken the route that he's taken? I am, but I still respect him tremendously.
Rory McIlroy on if he still respects Phil Mickelson. Serena Williams granted a wildcard invitation to play at this month's Wimbledon. She has not competed since injuring her right leg last year at the All England Club. Braves second baseman Ozzie Albies on the 60-day IL with a fractured foot.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Welcome back, Paulie. Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Gavin Guidry, LSU baseball signee, one of the top prospects in the country out of Barb. He'll be with us in 15 minutes. Feinswog next hour. Ben McDonald talking CWS in hour 3. Auburn beat Oregon State to punch their ticket, meaning half of the CWS field is from the SEC West. And neither of those teams are the defending national champion or the defending national runner-up or the team that was the consensus number one team in the country all year long. Oh, boy. A lot of work for Jay Johnson to do. He'll get underway. By the way, there is a little news today. Collier Cranford has entered the transfer portal. That's 3 LSU players now that have publicly announced they've entered the portal. We'll get to that in a bit. Down in New Orleans, where the Blues are born, today the Saints opened up minicamp, their mandatory minicamp. And there was a lot, of note, of course. Everyone who was supposed to be there was there. Michael Thomas was there, although he was just watching. Alvin Kamara was there. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was there. Demario Davis. So that's the fantastic news. All the players that were supposed to be there were there. And maybe also of significance is that the Saints had 4 players there on a tryout basis. And among them was Joe Schobert, who we talked about last week, the former Browns linebacker and Jaguars Steelers linebacker. Sinio Kelmete, a former Saints offensive lineman. And veteran running back David Johnson was there. We talked so much about the running back position here in this offseason. It was it's interesting that now it's led to this point. We learned on Monday that they were bringing Johnson in for a workout, and now he is trying out here at minicamp. The photo here, if you're watching, is courtesy of Mike Triplett of ESPN.com. You'll see the running backs there, all taking reps. Kamara in the middle. That's David Johnson on the right and Mark Ingram on the left. So the Saints having some options out there at running back. I am really interested in David Johnson to see how this may play out. If you recall, and if you followed the show throughout this offseason, we have talked a good bit about the NFL free agent running back situation and who might be realistic options for New Orleans. And one by one, we've sort of crossed them off the list. We talked about Sony Michel. Saints brought him in. Would have made a ton of sense he ultimately decided to take a lesser deal with the Miami Dolphins. I can't say a lesser deal because I don't know if or what the Saints offered, but he took a veteran minimum deal with the Miami Dolphins to go play closer to home. Phillip Lindsay, who had a really great start to his career coming out of Colorado as an undrafted free agent, landed with the Broncos, was really good early, and then it just sort of fizzled on him. He signed with Indianapolis. We talked about Tariq Cohen, who had the unfortunate injury a couple of years ago, and he's really fought for 2 years to come back from it. And then he tore his Achilles doing a workout, and it was streamed on Instagram Live, just massively unfortunate. So you scratched him off. We talked about Darrell Williams, the former LSU player, who had been a really good, serviceable backup in Kansas City. Well, he signed with Arizona. So every other running back that we looked at was really just sort of an aging veteran. And we talked about Devontae Booker and Carlos Hyde and Latavius Murray. I mean, a whole bunch of guys that you look down the list and you go, what's a realistic option of someone who is productive and has some gas left in the tank that might still be an option? And David Johnson was really the only other one, but he's 30 years old at this point. So, quick reminder, David Johnson was in Arizona back in 2016, his second year with the team. He was all-pro that year. Ran for 1,200 yards in his second year in the NFL and was first team all-pro. Spent 5 seasons in Arizona, and then he was part of that DeAndre Hopkins trade that Bill O'Brien. That trade alone probably got Bill O'Brien fired, or should have started the wheels in motion to get Bill O'Brien fired. But the Texans traded for David Johnson, and he was pretty good in 2020. He only played in 12 games, so he missed 4 games that year. That was the COVID year. But he ran for just under 700 yards and had about 300 receiving yards. So he was a good, versatile player, but he wasn't the level he was when he was an all-pro back in 2016, and he missed 4 games. And then last year, he played in 13 games, only started 4. His productivity went to basically nil. He ran for just 228 yards, had 225 receiving yards. Now, it's also fair to mention that Deshaun Watson wasn't playing quarterback for the Texans last year, so their whole offense was a mess. I guess the thing for New Orleans that you could look at and you could say is, okay, 2 things. Number 1, how much does David Johnson have left in the tank? And number 2, how much is it going to cost to get him? For what it's worth, and again, take this for what it's worth. Spotrac has a function where they list market value for each free agent. And they list David Johnson's market value at 2 years as a free agent. They list his market value at 2 years, $2.93 million, which averages out to $1.4 million per year. And that would be 52nd in the NFL among running backs. So basically at the bottom of the backups in the NFL. And you know what? I could absolutely live with that. You give David Johnson an incentive-laden bargain basement deal if he wants to continue his career. I mean, the flip side of it is it's certainly concerning when you say, why isn't anyone else involved? Why isn't anyone else working out this former All-Pro? And we've seen the Saints go down this road before when they've worked out running backs late in their career. I mean, remember, famously, they brought in Edgerrin James for a workout late in his career. They try, and at all positions. I mean, they did this with Champ Bailey. They try to see if they can squeeze that orange to get any juice out of it, and they're going to try it here with David Johnson this week at minicamp to see if he can earn a roster spot. But if David Johnson can be the 2020 David Johnson, again, remember, played in 12 games, so didn't play a full season, but ran for 691 yards and had 314 receiving yards as a backup, as a number 2, as a complementary piece to Alvin Kamara, and maybe a guy that takes on a larger role if and when Kamara misses 6 games due to his impending suspension, then I'm totally good with that. And if nothing else, he's a veteran option in camp along with Mark Ingram and Abram Smith. And to me, Abram Smith is the wild card here. The undrafted rookie free agent out of Baylor, we've talked about a good bit, but that's the wild card. If Abram Smith, I hope Abram Smith comes in and beats out Mark Ingram and David Johnson, because I would love to have a rookie with fresh legs, full of piss and vinegar, ready to go prove he belongs in the NFL. And the Saints have hit on those guys. We've talked about it a bunch. Pierre Thomas, Kyrie Robinson, Chris Ivory. There's been a bunch over the years. Those undrafted rookie free agents where, boom, they have hit. Maybe he's the next one. I hope he is, because I'd rather get this guy on an undrafted rookie free agent deal on the elevator up instead of hoping you catch something out of David Johnson or Mark Ingram where the elevator is very clearly going down. But this is a pretty good insurance policy. Let's see how he does this week at minicamp to see if maybe he can earn a roster spot. Also, what about Sinio Kelmente? Remember, he was a really good swing offensive lineman for the Saints. And then in 2018, he signed the 3-year, $12 million deal with the Texans. He was there for 3 years. And then last year was with the Chargers, played 9 games, started 2. He's 31 years old now, obviously knows the Saints, knows the system, knows the organization, all that sort of stuff. I'm curious if he could still be a valuable backup as a swing guy. He's not going to be a starter. Your starting 5 are set. But you tested the depth of your offensive line last year, and I'll remind you, on their 53-man roster last year, the Saints kept 9 offensive linemen. You know you're going to have your 5 starters, and I'm going to go and assume that Hurst and Throckmorton are going to make this team as well. That would put you at 7 with 2 spots available. Remember, Will Clapp is now with the Chargers, so that tackle eligible, the 6th offensive lineman, the swing spots. Kelmente could play center guard and tackle. He can play all 3 spots, all 5 spots on the line, but center guard tackle, there's value there if he has any gas left in the tank. If he's got anything left in those legs at 31 years old after having bounced around now for a few years, maybe some value. We'll keep our eye on Sinio Kelmente as well if the Saints sign him and maybe bring him into camp to try out. All right, it's after further review. We will later in the show let you hear some what Dennis Allen, the players, had to say after today's first day of minicamp as the Saints are out there getting some work in. It'll be the last time they're on the field altogether before they report for training camp coming up a little more than a month from right now. All right, it's after further review, brought to you by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Let me knock out our first break of the show. We'll come back, head over to Lake Charles. Gavin Guidry, one of the prized recruits in Jay Johnson's 2022 signing class. What's he thinking now? About a month out from the draft. LSU draft, what's that process going like? What's the relationship like with Jay Johnson? We'll talk about it with Gavin Guidry next on AFR.
AFR.
Man, summer is here. Time to spend time outdoors, by the pool, in the garden. Get by Clegg's Nursery. 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Clegg's has full greenhouses with tons of selection. And something that I hear often is when people go to Clegg's and they buy flowers or plants, whatever it may be at Clegg's, they're surprised at how their plants and flowers thrive even in this summer heat. And the reason is because at Clegg's, their flowers and what's in their greenhouse, they're not grown in other states, put on box trucks and shipped here. They're all grown here. So they're acclimated to South Louisiana, so they're going to thrive in this climate. So get on by Clegg's Nursery. Another reason to bypass the big box store and shop local. Clegg's, partner with True Value Hardware Store. Anything you'd find at a True Value Hardware Store, you'll also find at Clegg's Nursery. Save yourself a trip and support great local businesses like Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local. Be sure to tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Come on over to Corval Toyota to pre-order your next vehicle. It's an easy and stress-free process. Browse, reserve, pick up, and enjoy. It's that simple. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law offices of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Collier Cranford today became the third LSU baseball player to enter the transfer portal. He joins Brennan Holtz and Giovanni DiGiacomo as players leaving LSU. We know that the Tigers have picked up a commitment from a pitcher from Creighton, who I suppose we're going to go with Tabrock as his last name. Two-time SEC Pitcher of the Year. But Jay Johnson is retooling this roster, obviously. And a big part of that is the number one signing class in the country, which is by far the number one signing class in the country. And one of the crown jewels of that class is Gavin Guidry, the shortstop/pitcher from Barb in Lake Charles, Louisiana Player of the Year. He's going to join us for a couple of minutes here. Hey, Gavin, we appreciate it, man. How are you?
Doing good.
Man, thanks for the time. First and foremost, since your high school season ended, what do you do the rest of the summer between now and the draft?
Yeah, well, first off, I took some time off, just kind of hung out, took some trips, just took some time to breathe and kind of reset. And then, just got back in the gym, started working out, and stayed hitting, stayed throwing, keeping my arm in shape, and just getting ready for workouts.
So do you have and just, I think the combine process for like the NFL, right? I mean, we've all seen the scouting combine forever. With baseball, it's a little bit different. So what is that scouting process like? I mean, do you throw for scouts? Do you go to events? What's it like for you?
Yeah, well, I've been staying off the mound this summer just because I was having some back problems towards the end of season, and pitching's kind of what aggravated it the most. So I've been staying off the mound. So I haven't been throwing any bullpens or anything like that for them. Really just going over there and taking BP and taking ground balls and just trying to show what kind of athlete I am and what kind of person I am, and see if it fits for them, if they want to give me the amount of money that I would take.
Have obviously you've had those conversations with your parents about what it would take. Are you willing to say like what your number is? I mean, what it would take to get you to sign a pro contract?
I mean, that's not something that we just really want to have publicly.
Sure, I understand that completely. Figured I'd ask.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about Jay Johnson and what the approach has been with LSU and what it might be for you. So let's just start with your impressions of Jay Johnson. You obviously had a relationship with the former staff, but what have been your impressions of Jay Johnson and this current staff?
I mean, I love Jay. I love the whole staff. Dan, JK. I love all the guys. I mean, I think that they're guys that are going to bring a lot of personality to us and let us kind of play freely. and let us, like you saw with the team this year in the dugout, they had a boom box in there.
They
So,
did have a boom box.
So, I think that they're people that are going to let us play baseball and bringing in guys like you were saying earlier, the number one recruiting class. I think that kind of speaks for itself. You bringing in the best class in the country. If you just let them play and do what they've been doing their whole lives, they're better than the guys that the other colleges have coming in. So I think that they're going to let us play free and have fun and just kind of bring energy back to the box.
You know what's interesting too? I mentioned like the NFL scouting combine a bit ago. Similarly, like with football, we know that when a recruiting class in football all signs together, like a lot of those guys commit because they want to play together. They sort of do it in a group. Is it the same in baseball? Like, is this baseball signing class at LSU? Are you close with some of the guys in this class?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that we committed to play with each other as
Sure.
far as like no one made the decision to go to LSU because someone else is there. But yeah, we've gotten pretty close. We have group chats with each other. We talk daily. I try to keep in touch with all the guys. Me and a couple of guys, me and Mikey Romero talk every day. Me and Paxton Kling talk every day. Me and Tucker Toman talk every day. Jaden Newt. There's a lot of the guys that I talk to on a daily basis, and we've gotten really close. Yeah.
It's what's interesting though is like, so you're and I saw like a lot of people sort of screenshotted a lot of the tweets among all of you whenever LSU was making their run in the postseason and winning those thrilling games and extra innings. But like you're a Louisiana guy, Mikey Romero is out in California. I mean, how much of the like you obviously grew up loving LSU. How much of that do you think has sort of permeated this entire class now, where guys have grown to love the program and to love LSU?
Yeah, I think that, before they committed, they knew kind of what LSU was all about as far as the fan base and how much support we have behind us. But whenever we came down for our official visit, we were all down there, and we scrimmaged UL Lafayette. And, I'd say there's probably about 4,000 people there just for a fall scrimmage. And so I was actually sitting with Mikey Romero and Tucker Toman. And I remember whenever the game first started, right before Ty Floyd started the game, or no, Devin Fino started the game. Right before the game started, they both kind of looked at me and they're like, dude, this is crazy. And I was like, yeah, this is what LSU's about. This is what we do. And, if you get to campus, it's going to be fun. So I think that was kind of the point where they realized how much fun it would be to go to school at LSU.
Yeah. Gavin Guidry is with us. He's on Twitter at Gavin Guidry5. You'll give him a follow on Twitter, on Instagram as well. When we talked a little bit about your relationship with Jay Johnson and the staff. What about what you would do, when you get to campus? Are you a pitcher? Are you an infielder? Are you a hitter? Like, what are they going to let you do, or what do they want you to do?
Well, in the fall, Jay's going to let me do both. He's going to kind of let me free and go out there and pitch and see what I can do on the mound, and then same thing in the infield and hit and just see what I can do and go from there and use me how he sees fit, I guess. But going into the fall, I'll be doing both. And, in the season, I may be doing both. I may be just doing one, but we'll see.
Do you have a preference? Like, do you prefer to pitch and have the ball, or, once every fourth, fifth day, or I guess in college once a week, or to be out there every day playing infield?
Yeah, I love playing baseball, man. I get asked that question all the time by all the scouts because they're trying to figure out the same thing. But, I love playing baseball. I like playing baseball every day, not just once a week, right? I want to be on the field and help the team win every day and try to make an impact in every single game. But at the same time, pitching is something that I've, become to love, the competition factor. I feel like it's a very me versus the hitter, and it's kind of all the lights are on me. Everybody's watching me. I have the ball. I have something to do with every single play. So pitching's a lot of fun, but I like being out on the field every day and competing every day.
The crazy thing, though, is in college baseball, it's not atypical to do both. Like, we've seen guys be really good pitchers, and when they're not pitching, they go play in the field. Is that something you've talked about with Jay Johnson, about potentially doing both?
Yeah, for sure. That's my goal, and I think that's his goal too. But we're going to have to try to figure out how to manage it. Because I think that he sees me as someone who can impact the game on the mound and at short and in the box. So I think that he's going to try to do both, but we just got to figure out in the fall how we're going to manage it for season.
Yeah, man, if you're a starting shortstop and then one day a week you're not there, that would kind of stink. So it's like,
Yeah.
what do you do? There is a lot to manage there. What about at the plate, man? Like, talk me through a little bit of your development offensively, as a hitter throughout your high school career, where you feel like you've had a lot of growth and development.
Yeah, I mean, hitting-wise, the biggest jumps that I've made hitting-wise throughout my high school career is just, I would say, strength. Coming in as a freshman, I was like 140 pounds, 135, 140 pounds. And, I'm like 180 now, so that's 35 pounds I put on since freshman year. And then just kind of an approach as far as being more disciplined and just being able to learn pitchers' tendencies and kind of just getting a better approach to high-level pitching.
Gavin Guidry is our guest. He's on Twitter at GavinGuidry5, one of the crown jewels of this LSU signing class, waiting on the draft. What's it like, man? You got any anxiety waiting for this next month?
I mean, I wouldn't say anxiety just because I'm in such a good situation. I either get drafted and make a lot of money and kind of have a life-changing experience. My life would be different till the day I die. If I get drafted, I'll have an extreme amount of money at a young age, or I go play baseball at LSU. There's nothing really, there isn't a negative. It's just a win-win situation. So I wouldn't say anxiety, but it's definitely exciting, and you get just ready for that day to come, just because you don't know exactly how things are going to fall out.
What would it mean for you if you ended up at LSU and you helped LSU win a national championship?
Yeah. I mean, that's been my dream since I was 6 years old, going to LSU. I tell people all the time, I mean, the ultimate dream for me is to play in the big leagues, but I always kind of felt like playing at LSU was like one of the steps to getting there. I always felt like me going to play baseball at LSU for 3 years was just that was just part of my life. And being a kid growing up, watching, Kramer and Bregman and all them win national championships, that's always been my goal.
He is Gavin Guidry. We'll see if that's in the cards for you, man. Draft's coming up in just about, almost right at a month from now, and there's going to be a lot of LSU fans watching with a close eyes to what happens, man. Either way, however it goes, we certainly wish you luck, and we'll keep in touch, man. Thanks for making a couple of minutes for us here today.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
It's our pleasure. Gavin Guidry. Gavin Guidry on Twitter at GavinGuidry5. Y'all give him a follow. Again, the Louisiana Gatorade Player of the Year. 6'2". He's a pitcher who throws low mid-90s. Also is a starting shortstop. Hits for average and power. He's a great prospect. And, the question is, will he get his number? And I completely understand why he's not going to disclose that number. He shouldn't. He will be in a negotiation with some big league team. And so he's not going to disclose that, but of course I had to ask. So I completely understand him not saying. But whatever that number is, it's always a question of if a player will remain hard and fast on that number. It's always the question around the draft. Let's say a guy has, and the number's $2 million. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm spitballing. And a team says, hey, what if we give you 1.4? Well, 1.4 is life-changing money, but 1.4 ain't 2. Would you take 1.8? Would you take 1.75? You're getting closer, but you're not at 2. So how hard and fast will they stay to that number when the phone call rings? When the phone rings and you're talking to someone offering you 7 figures, will you take it? And, that's what a lot of guys have to weigh. There were guys like Alex Bregman who said, if I'm not a first-round pick, do not draft me because I'm not coming. I'm going to LSU. And he stuck to it. A guy like Dylan Cruz had his number, and it was a big number, and he said, I'll go play at LSU for 3 years and be a top 5 pick and make $6 million, which he is going to do next year. Or maybe even more than $6 million, but probably more than $6 million. So what is it as relative to what it's worth to play at LSU? But you always have the emotional heartstring tug with a guy like that who's from Louisiana, whose dream, he said since he was 6 years old, wearing the purple and gold and playing for LSU. If that guy shows up on campus, he is a day one impact guy. He is either starting somewhere in your infield, or he is pitching and being a key offensive contributor on the team. Like, he is a day one contributor if that kid shows up at LSU. Hope he does, man. Want what's best for him, obviously. But, boy, that would be a major win if they get Gavin Guidry on campus. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. We're not going to quick break, go around the SEC next. Stick around.
AFR.
Brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of LSU Athletics and the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouses.com. Rouses.com. Boy, I love telling you about Rouse's. I love being able to endorse great Louisiana businesses. That's Rouse's, as they've been forever. And, of course, they've continued to grow the way that they have, and they've made it convenient for you. So go to Rouses.com or download the Rouse's app. They have delivery and pickup options. Spend $35. It's free. All you got to do, go to the app, select your items. They'll go shop for you. You pull up into one of the designated spots, and they'll bring it out to your car. They make it so easy and convenient for you. But it's always fun to go into Rouse's. I like shopping Rouse's. I like the fact that it's big and clean, and they got so much thoughtful creativity behind the design and layout of all of the stores. I love to go look at the meat market and go look at the seafood market, go look at the bakery and the liquor section as well. Check it out. Rouses.com. Find the location nearest you at Rouses.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
College World Series is set. Oh, my God. Auburn beats Oregon State last night on 3 hits. They scored 4 runs on 3 hits. That's so ridiculous. But so the College World Series is set, and half of the field is from the SEC West. Of course, Texas A&M is in the field. Interestingly enough, you'll have Texas A&M against Texas. You'll have Notre Dame against Oklahoma in one bracket. So Texas and Texas A&M in Omaha is a really fun matchup to see that at the College World Series. Stanford will play Auburn, and then Arkansas and Ole Miss will meet again. So, no rest for the weary in the SEC West, obviously, with 4 SEC West teams in the field, 2 future SEC teams in Texas and Oklahoma in the field, and then, of course, Notre Dame and Stanford take up the other 2 spots. I don't know that I even care to watch the College World Series. I mean, I do because I love baseball and I love the event and I love college baseball. But, I was Todd Graffinini, radio voice of the Pels, was texting me last night, and I would only assume he was texting me about the Auburn game. And I was like, brother, I'm not watching. I was watching the NBA Finals last night. I needed to see another SEC team punch a ticket to Omaha like I need another hole in my head. No thanks. I mean, this is if you're an LSU fan, it's a losing proposition. There is no way in HE double hockey sticks that I want Texas A&M winning anything and anything. So, no. Ole Miss, after Mississippi State broke through last year, last thing in the world you need is Ole Miss, another Mississippi school breaking through this year. Arkansas, they've invested a ton, obviously with the renovation of their stadium. They've been really good. They should have won a national championship a few years ago when Carson Shaddy dropped that foul ball. As we've said, I don't need them breaking through. And as we mentioned, there's no way I'm cheering for A&M. The one team that you kind of feel like could win it, and it may not be consequential, would be Auburn. I don't think Auburn will win it, but that's the one team you feel like could win it, and it still wouldn't make that big of a difference. It would almost feel like Coastal Carolina won it. They won it. They'll never win it again. That's kind of how it feels with Auburn. Not to say that's definitive, but it's kind of how it feels. And I know that's disrespectful to Butch Thompson, the job he's done there, and Tim Hudson, and as the pitching coach, and that's great. I mean, congrats on them for doing what they did and making the run they did have the season they've had. But if there was one team that I feel like, okay, they could win it, I wouldn't be completely distraught, it would be Auburn. But oddly enough, I'm really just pulling for Notre Dame or Stanford here. I think the 3 best teams in college baseball this year were Tennessee, Oregon State, and Stanford. They were the top 3 seeds in the tournament. That was justified. Tennessee and Oregon State didn't even make it to the College World Series, which I think leads Stanford maybe is the best team left in the field. I don't think anybody wants to face Ole Miss right now, the way they hit and the way that their top 2 pitchers have really been dealing. And Arkansas, Ole Miss in that first round, I know Connor Nolan's going, but Arkansas really has struggled on the bump this year. I kind of lean Ole Miss to get to the winner's bracket. If Ole Miss manages to beat the winner of Auburn and Stanford, they're going to be a really tough out if they're able to set up their pitching. But if you're an LSU fan, just sort of, grit your teeth and muscle through it and see how it comes out and hope that it's not too painful when that championship series is played. All right, it's after further review. You can bet on the College World Series over at DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. You want to bet on basically any sport in the world, you can do it. Fun future bets, prop bets, it's all there for you at the DraftKings Sportsbook. And use the promo code Baton Rouge. They always have great incentives. Remember, as long as the NBA Finals is going on, they still have that great NBA Finals prop. Or proposal, here's what you do. You bet just $5. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Bet just $5. Game 6 is coming up on Thursday. You want to bet on that game. You pick the Celtics at home. You pick the Warriors, whichever one. If it hits, boom, they'll give you $150 in free bets if you're a new customer. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Again, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the promo code Baton Rouge. Of course, same-game parlays are available. The more legs you add, the more money you can win. And if you use the promo code Baton Rouge, if one of your legs doesn't hit, they'll give you $25 back in free bet credit at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Now the disclaimer. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Availability varies by parish. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full terms and conditions. Licensee partner Golden Nugget, Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-7. That's just a lot. That's just a lot. Okay, we do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Excellence in imaging solutions. The Ole Miss Rebels.
Chattanooga interior lineman Bryson Sanders has committed to Ole Miss. He's the second 4-star recruit for Lane Kiffin in the 2023 class. 6'5", 280. Sanders is the number 4 recruit out of the state of Tennessee, the number 11 interior offensive lineman in the country. His final 4 included Tennessee, LSU, and Oklahoma. Ultimately picked Ole Miss. Revs have 4 commits for this upcoming class.
The Missouri Tigers.
Mizzou also landed a verbal on Monday night. This time it's from 3-star wide receiver Marquise Johnson out of Texas. His Power 5 offers included Arkansas, Colorado, Indiana, Utah, and Washington State. Rated as a 3-star prospect, the number 145 receiver in the 2023 class, Johnson gives Mizzou 5 verbal commits for 2023.
The Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Mike Leach added to his secondary this week with safety Dante Kelly committing to the Bulldogs. 3-star safety. He's the number 24 recruit in the state of Mississippi, the number 136 athlete nationally. Had offers from Southern Miss, Memphis, and Vanderbilt. Fending off the big dogs there. State. Kelly's the 5th player in State's upcoming recruiting class.
The Florida Gators.
And Kevin O'Sullivan's moved quickly to replace his longtime assistant Craig Bell, who spent the previous 15 seasons there in Gainesville. O'Sullivan has hired Taylor Black, who arrives to Florida after spending the previous 4 seasons in the Detroit Tigers organization. Prior to that, he was an assistant at NC State from 2014 to 2017. Actually played a couple of seasons at Kentucky. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC. Presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy, Trey Beal, and our friends, Gulf Coast Office Products, online at gcopnet.com. gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products, a national leader among Savin dealers. They proudly service, though, all different makes and models. That's at Gulf Coast Office Products. gcopnet.com, official office equipment provider of the LSU Tigers, the New Orleans Saints, the New Orleans Pelicans, and the ULL Ragin' Cajuns. Gulf Coast Office Products. All right, it's after further review. Oh, by the way, Muso, as a man of my word, this
yes.
Celebate can is yours.
Thank you. Thank you.
We wagered yesterday if Stanford would win by double digits. Muso said no. I said yes. Was feeling good because moments after we made that wager, Stanford hit a grand slam.
It wasn't ever a grand slam.
It was like a minute, maybe less than a minute later. Who are you pulling for in the College World Series?
I have a 30-1 ticket on Notre Dame, so Notre Dame.
Okay.
I mean,
fair enough.
Yeah.
That would be a nice payout.
That'd be pretty good.
Paulie, I was talking to Paul earlier today, said he didn't even know Tennessee had lost. So, like, that's a man.
Good vacation, Paul.
That's absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a man who did what you're supposed to do on vacation, which is check out completely. Paulie, you got a great tan, too, by the way, while you were gone.
I tried.
It doesn't look like you tried it all, actually.
It was hard with a baby.
SPF 100.
Get a tan.
Yeah, SPF 100, sitting under the umbrella the whole time. Spend most of the day inside with baby Opal napping, right? But how it went.
That sounded about right.
Yeah, that's about right, man.
You nailed it.
Hey, I get it. We've all been there. As long as you get cold beverage in your hand and some relaxation time, that's what matters. Glad to have Paulie back. People were like, what happened to Paul? I'm like, nothing happened to Paul. He's on vacation. So, Paul, welcome back, Paulie. All right, it's after further review. Let's knock out a quick break and wrap up hour number 1 next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Darren James and Associates, powered by eXp Realty. Every home listed by every company, all in one place. Agent225.com. Agent225.com. Did you know, according to the latest data, recently sold homes have gotten an average of 5.5 offers? It's incredible. The home market, the housing market is in fuego. It is a great time if you are thinking about selling your home to call Darren James. 335-7666, 335-7666. That's Darren's cell number. I can give you the office number. It's 304-6363. But why call the office number when you can call Darren or text him personally right now? Or you can always log on to agent225.com. That's agent225.com. It's the Ritz-Carlton level of customer service experience with real estate when you call Darren James. 335-7666 or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside, off the bench, Hunt and Hill, the early line. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but two.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Well, there's a lot of people who don't love what's going on with the LIV Tour, but it sure has gotten us talking more about golf this summer than we probably ever have, and I'm sure it's the case with most. U.S. Opens this week. Rory McIlroy took some shots at the guys that played for the LIV Tour. Among them, of course, is Phil Mickelson, who is competing this week at the U.S. Open. Here's what Phil said today when he met with the media. Phil. Here's what Phil said today when he met with the media.
There's an obvious, incredible financial commitment for all the players involved and everyone involved. But more than that, there are other factors that with fewer tournaments, it allows me to have more balance in my life. It allows me to do things that are off the golf course I've always wanted to do. And I find that as I prioritize those that are important to me, people that are important to me going forward, this allows me to have more time with them, be more present, and to share more life experiences outside of golf.
Maybe the best opinion on all this so far today has come from John Rahm of Spain. This clip runs a little less than 2 minutes, so I always hesitate to play something this long, but I'm going to do it and play it in its entirety because I think the context matters. So here was John Rahm on the decision not to play for LIV Golf and to stay on the PGA Tour.
I do see the appeal that other people see towards the LIV Golf. I do see some of the, how do I put this delicately, points or arguments they can make towards why they prefer it. To be honest, part of the format is not really appealing to me. Shotgun 3 days to me is not a golf tournament, no cut. It's that simple. I want to play against the best in the world in a format that's been going on for hundreds of years, right? So that's what I want to see. And yeah, money is great, but when Kelly and I, this first thing happened, we started talking about it. We're like, will our lifestyle change if I got $400 million? No, it will not change one bit. Truth be told, I could retire right now with what I've made and I've lived a very happy life and not play golf again. So I've never really played the game of golf for monetary reasons. I play for the love of the game, and I want to play against the best in the world. I've always been interested in history and legacy, and right now the PGA Tour has that. There's a meaning when you win the Memorial Championship. There's a meaning when you win Arnold Palmer's event at Bay Hill. There's a meaning when you win LA, Torrey, some of these historic venues. And that to me matters a lot, right? I have, after winning this past U.S. Open, only me and Tiger have won at Torrey Pines, and we're both the golf course that we like, making putts on the 18th hole, right? That's a memory I'm going to have forever that not many people can say. So my heart is with the PGA Tour. That's all I can say. It's not my business or my character to judge anybody who thinks otherwise. And for a lot of people, I'm not going to lie, those next 3-4 years are worth basically their retirement plan they're giving them. It's a very nice compensation to then retire and sail off to the sunset.
Good for him. John Rahm, again, world number 2. Good for him. Perfectly said. He doesn't like the format of LIV. The money doesn't matter because if he had $400 million, he said it wouldn't change his lifestyle. And he's more into legacy. All things that are very applicable to him, but not to everybody. The guy who finished number 2 in the first LIV event this past week had career earnings, career on-course earnings. That's not even including expenses. This is top line earnings of $900,000. Made $2.2 million in one weekend. That does change someone's life forever. For John Rahm, it's not. John Rahm's made a ton of money. Great for him. That's not everybody. That's the very, very small minority, as a matter of fact. So if guys want to go play for the money, that's their prerogative, and good for him for saying I don't judge. The other thing that I'll say is there's been a moving target with the whole LIV Golf thing. First, it was all about the Saudi money, and that was the criticism. Now it's about protecting the tour and all this sort of stuff, which I don't really buy into. If the issue is where it's funded, I'll remind you that the United States, and this is per the U.S. Energy Information Administration, in March of this year, the most recent data, the United States imported 504,000 barrels of crude oil from Saudi Arabia per day in March of this year. 504,000 barrels of crude oil from Saudi Arabia per day. The gas you're putting in your car, there's a really good chance the oil came from Saudi Arabia. Flying somewhere, the jet fuel piling that plane, chances are it came from Saudi Arabia. You want to talk about human rights? Let's talk about China. Whatever plastic, these headphones, these are probably made in China. Should you all boycott my show because I'm wearing headphones that were probably made in China? You start asking those questions, man. You just walk down a slippery slope. So To each their own, man. Go do what's best for you. And I thought that was eloquently stated there by John Rahm. One thing I think we can all agree on. This is awesome. There's a kid named Landon Gilmore in Indiana. He's a high school golfer at Bloomington South Indiana High School. He goes by Happy.
That's your home. Are you too good for your home?
That's right. When he was 6 years old, playing tournaments, they saw a golfer with the name of Gilmore. People started calling him Happy. He completely adopted the name by the time he was 13.
You're gonna die, clown!
Happy Gilmore. And by the way, he's actually pretty good. Happy Gilmore is.
Happy learned how to putt.
He shot 80. He shot 80 in the U.S. Open qualifier as a 16-year-old. There's a real-life Happy Gilmore, y'all. And he's coming. Good luck to Happy Gilmore this year in the Indiana State Championships.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by GMFS Mortgage, gmfsmortgage.com. Changing lives since 1999. Home buy, refi, construction loans. They do it all, and they're just also an awesome company. Voted #1 best place to work in Baton Rouge in the Baton Rouge Business Report in 2021. I so encourage you to get pre-qualified. If you're buying, building, renovating, refinancing, look, as home values have appreciated, you've built equity. Maybe you can use that equity. Take some equity out to do a renovation at your home or whatever it is that you're maybe looking to pay for. GMFS Mortgage can help. Get in touch with a local loan officer today. Start at the website. They're Louisiana's #1 local lender in our state. Hundreds of thousands of loans closed, billions of dollars worth of loans since they opened their doors 23 years ago. Log on to gmfsmortgage.com. GMFS Mortgage. Changing lives.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. While maintaining he's innocent of allegations of inappropriate sexual conduct made against him, Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson said today he has no regrets about any of his actions. He added he does regret the impact the accusations have had on the people around him. Watson's facing those allegations in 24 civil lawsuits filed against him. The Celtics with their backs against the wall as they get ready to host the Warriors in Game 6 of the NBA Finals on Thursday. Boston down 3-2, facing a must-win. One key for a Celtics victory is taking care of the ball better. They had 13 turnovers last night. Boston also needs a strong start, advises ESPN senior NBA writer Andre Snelling.
They need to control the narrative, control the pace, control the action in the first half. I fully expect the Warriors to make their pushing in the third quarter and make it competitive. But then the Celtics, building off of that early momentum, would need to then carry it through and win a Game 6.
Andre Snelling's on Greeny. Braves second baseman Ozzie Albies on the 60-day injured list with a fractured foot. He was injured on an awkward swing last night.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
Let's ride.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Matt, I am sweating. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusuf. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Make it a good one. Feinswog in about 15 minutes. Delve a little deeper into Collier Cranford, the latest LSU Tiger to enter the transfer portal, what it means for the Tigers. We'll get to that here in about 15 minutes from right now. Let's see. A lot we'll get to. Ben McDonald, by the way, 1 hour from right now. The College World Series is set, so we'll look at the field, how the Super Regionals went, who you might favor. All that's coming up 1 hour from right now with Ben McDonald. And we will also recap day one of Saints minicamp in hour number 3 as well. We'll let you hear from Dennis Allen, some of the players as well. All right, it's after further review. LSU, the elite camps are going on this week. So it's when all the prospects come to campus and the coaching staff has a chance to scout a lot of these guys. And some really big-name prospects are coming to LSU. Last week we talked with Billy Embody about this. They had a bunch of linemen on camp. Have a lot of the skilled guys, specialists as well, coming this week. Jaden Rashada, quarterback out of California, recently took an official to Baton Rouge. Five-star quarterback Dante Moore out of Detroit. He visited LSU in late April. LSU's currently listed as the favorite to land Dante Moore, and Rashada is going to make his announcement in 4 days on the 18th. Moore, for what it's worth, is the number 12 overall prospect and the number 4 quarterback on the 247 composite. So take that for what it's worth. Got a really good relationship with Brian Kelly and the staff. He's also visiting Texas A&M this weekend. He's got Michigan and Oregon on the list. So LSU is still looking to land a quarterback in the 2023 class. I started thinking about this because I was asked. I've been asked a lot. This isn't a new conversation, but I was just thinking about it today a little deeper. Because, look, Arch Manning isn't going to LSU, and we all know that. And Eli Holstein has already committed to Alabama. Now he was at A&M and flipped, and now he's committed to Alabama. And it looks like that'll stick. But LSU's looking for a quarterback in this class. And I've long said that you have got to sign a quarterback in every class. And I've long believed that you can't skip a cycle because somewhere along the way, that gap, you're going to pay for it unless if you end up with someone who solidifies himself as a 3-year starter, so it allows the cycles to catch back up. One example that we used for a lot of years was A.J. McCarron at Alabama. Because he was a 3-year starter, you looked at all the quarterbacks. Go back and look at all the quarterbacks they missed on over that cycle, but it just didn't matter because he held it down for 3 years, and then they got the transfer Coker from Florida State and won a national championship and sort of picked back up after that. But, it used to be that you couldn't miss a cycle. At LSU, one of the examples always was what happened with Ryan Perrilloux. LSU signed Ryan Perrilloux in Les Miles' first class. He was the all-everything quarterback out of East St. John, and they signed Ryan Perrilloux in 2005. Well, in 2006, they didn't sign a quarterback. So you have Perrilloux there in 06, and then he backs up Matt Flynn in 07. Of course, started the SEC championship game when Flynn was injured. And 08 was supposed to be Perrilloux's year. He gets booted off the team. And because you didn't sign a quarterback in 06, you were left with Jarrett Lee as a redshirt freshman and Andrew Hatch. And we know how that went. Hatch was the transfer from Harvard. Didn't go so hot. He got concussed. You replace him with Lee. And Lee was just not ready. I mean, he made some really nice plays, but the pick sixes became the story of that 2008 season. It's a great question. Like the Ryan Perrilloux conundrum, the what if Perrilloux had stayed? What if you didn't have to play Lee as a redshirt freshman? And in many ways, that sort of defined the rest of the Les Miles era, where he just said, we're never going to beat ourselves again. We'll play defense and run the football and protect the ball, and that will be our formula to win. And that's what LSU was defined by for basically the next decade. But that all really changed, y'all, in 2008. I'm sorry, in 2018. Because in 2018, LSU missed on James Foster. It was a quarterback out of Alabama that they were recruiting. It went right down to the wire. He ends up picking Texas A&M, and LSU did not sign a quarterback in 2018. But again, you can't go a cycle without bringing in a quarterback anymore. So what did LSU do? They had to go to the transfer portal, and they landed Joe Burrow. And we all know what happened. Joe Burrow became a 2-year starter. You won a Fiesta Bowl, and then you had the greatest season in the history of college football, won the national championship, and Joe Burrow is now the greatest football player to ever play at LSU. He has, in my opinion, taken that mantle from the late, great Dr. Billy Cannon as the greatest player ever at LSU. And that was really the lesson in that moment that we all collectively at LSU learned, is that you don't have to sign a high school quarterback every year. Would it be nice? Absolutely. You'd love to get great 5-star talent after 5-star talent, but you can win with transfers. Look at the SEC this year. I mean, we've gone through this list a ton, but Tennessee's going to start Hendon Hooker. He's a transfer. South Carolina's going to start Spencer Rattler. Transfer. Texas A&M's going to start Max Johnson. He's a transfer. Ole Miss is likely going to start Jackson Dart, the USC transfer. Will Levis at Kentucky is a transfer. Jaden Daniels at LSU is a transfer. Zach Calzada left A&M for Auburn. TJ Finley's at Auburn as well. Transfer. There are signees that do very... Look, Bryce Young was a 5-star signee at Alabama. He won a Heisman and a national championship. It works. That model absolutely works. Forgive me, he won a Heisman. He did not win the national championship last year. KJ Jefferson. He's probably going to win the Heisman this year, right? According to our buddy Josh Bertaccini. Anthony Richardson in Florida if he wins the job. Will Rogers at Mississippi State. Miles Brennan. I mean, there are examples of guys who are signees that win the job. And stay and have success, and that's fine and good and great. But it's also been proven that you don't have to go that route. Sure, for every Trevor Lawrence in this modern age of college football, there's a Joe Burrow. I mean, Stetson Bennett, of course, won the national championship with Georgia last year. We know what his path was, but JT Daniels was that guy until he was injured. So I would say that while you still have to add a quarterback, you don't have to add a high school signee, because with the proliferation of the transfer portal and quarterbacks leaving where they are, you don't just necessarily get former Power 5 signees. You get guys with experience. I mean, Jaden Daniels is LSU's most experienced quarterback now. This guy started 30 games in his time at Arizona State. Spencer Rattler at South Carolina, I mean, the guy was a 2-year starter at Oklahoma. Was on everybody's big board. Mock draft as a top 5 pick. Didn't go great for him last year, lost his job. Now he goes to South Carolina. But that's a dude that's played a ton of football. That's a better option this year for South Carolina than any freshman they could sign. So I guess I look at Brian Kelly's class, and maybe, of course, we'd love to have seen Arch Manning land at LSU, or a local guy like Eli Holstein from Zachary who's now going to Bama, or whatever way it may go. Listen, Ricky Collins is at Woodlawn, who's a great talent. He's committed to Purdue currently, and maybe LSU gets him, or maybe they land Jaden Rashada, or maybe they land Dante Moore. I don't know. You'll know I'm not the recruiting guy. I'm not here to give you any insight or breaking news info on any of these guys. All I'm saying is, if you get one of those guys, awesome. I'm not saying, man, this isn't important. Of course it is. Recruit great young quarterbacks. Develop them. That's phenomenal. But there are multiple ways you can win now, and it's been proven. So you can hit that transfer portal even if you don't sign a quarterback and still supplement your roster. It's just different than what it used to be 10 years ago or even 5 years ago. So we'll wait and see if Brian Kelly's able to get a high school signee, a quarterback signee, into this 2023 class. But if he doesn't, there really shouldn't be any anxiety, because you're going to be able to hit the transfer portal, and LSU will always be a really attractive spot, landing spot, for any transfer at any position, namely quarterback. All right, it's after further review. I guess I should mention Bryce Young did win a national championship 2 years ago, but he won the Heisman this year, and then they lost the national championship, of course. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break, come back, talk to Lee Feinswog. Bottom of this hour, we'll talk about Collier Cranford entering the transfer portal, take a closer look at how LSU's 2023 baseball roster is shaping up. If you missed it, Gavin Guidry, LSU baseball signee out of Barb, was with us in hour one. You can check that out on demand. Of course, AFR On Demand is presented by Brett Golf. Glad to have you aboard with us here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Tuesday, great day to get by Pluckers. I mean, every day is a great day to get by Pluckers. But Tuesday, 2 reasons primarily. Number one, kids eat free. So get the whole family together and get by Pluckers. Summer's here. The kids are at home. They might be driving you nuts. If you need an outing for the family to get out of the house tonight, get by Pluckers. Tonight and every Tuesday, both locations, Nicholson just south of campus and Blue Bonnet right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. Every Tuesday, kids eat free at Pluckers. I told you there were 2 reasons. That's one. 2, sports trivia. Our buddy Hunt Palmer, he hosts sports trivia every Tuesday, 8:30 at the Nicholson location. So get your team together. 5 rounds of live action trivia. No limit on how many players you can have in your team. Eat wings, drink beer, watch sports on TV, test your sports knowledge, and win Pluckers gift cards. That's every Tuesday, 8:30 at the Nicholson location of Pluckers. Dine in, carry out, or delivery, Uber Eats, DoorDash, it's Pluckers. Award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice-cold draft beer, Pluckers. You don't like our wings. We'll give you the bird.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Join 100.7 The Tiger and Our Lady of the Lake Ascension, Saturday, June 25th at the Lamar Dixon Expo Center in Gonzales.
Enjoy live music from Ted Durr, Mike Broussard and the Night Train, and Jamie Badron and the Kickin' Cajuns. Make sure you grab a delicious plate of jambalaya from the Mike Ward's Liberty Safes Jambalaya Cook-Off to raise money for the Alzheimer's services of the capital area.
The Swamp Pop Music Festival with Supreme Chevrolet,
Louisiana's country station.
100.7 The Tiger.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana, call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Hey, Lee.
Hi, Matt.
How are you?
I'm good. A little busy today. It's been a long, crazy day, but it's all right.
Did you watch Game 5 of the finals last night?
I fell asleep. And part of it's because
10 p.m. tip just got you, huh?
Oh gosh, so I was over in Dallas for some business, and on Sunday night I went to sleep about 9:30, and I woke up at midnight, and never really went back to sleep again.
Oh.
And you know those nights where it just never happens again. Maybe you doze a couple hours after that.
I don't actually know those nights at all. I have no problem sleeping whatsoever. I fall asleep when my head is approaching the pillow. Like I'm out.
Ooh.
I'm out.
You're lucky. Well, people of my generation, guys, might tell you that your time is probably coming, but I hope for your sake it's not.
I don't know,
a lot of old guys will tell you, it's just sleeping a long time is a rare thing sometimes. Anyway, I was in a place called Flower Mound, Texas, which is north of Dallas. Beautiful, just basically man-made community. Like there were waterfalls, but they weren't natural, in this place, And the facilities are unbelievable. So I went to a high school called Marcus High School, and it was the biggest four-year college disguising as a high school I'd ever seen. So Marcus Smart went there. It's not named after him, Marcus High School.
Okay.
But he won a couple of state championships there, and there are Marcus Smart tributes in a few places. But here's the thing, Matt. This place, so at Catholic High, for example, how big and nice the gym is.
Right.
They have 4 of them.
Oh, jeez.
At the one high school, an indoor practice football facility. And I said to somebody from a nearby high school, this is incredible. They go, oh, no, Flower Mound High School, which is just down the road, it's bigger. And I was like, get out of here. No, it was just amazing.
Flower Mound, the reason I know the name is because Flower Mound is like that name does pop up a lot in recruiting. There are athletes from Flower Mound that always seem to kind of pop up on major recruiting rankings and stuff.
Absolutely.
Like that, so.
You can see why Texas is the keys to the kingdom in almost every sport, unless it's a college in California or Florida or it's some kind of niche thing. Everybody has to recruit Texas in everything. It's just the facilities, the volume of people who play there. But what I was thinking about Marcus Smart, and I realized,
here you go. I knew there was one recently. Marcel Brooks.
Well,
Marcel Brooks went to Flower Mound. I was looking up recruiting classes because I knew there was a football player recently. So, he went to Marcus High School, and that's Marcel Brooks, who was the 5-star safety outside linebacker who spent a year at LSU in 2019 and transferred to TCU. I knew there was someone recently from Flower Mound. It was Marcel Brooks. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, and then the Flower Mound High School, I'm sure if you did a search for that, there'd be similar. But Marcus Smart is a 7th-year pro. And it reinforces a little bit. You know, even Jason Tatum, also for the Celtics, you know, he came out a long time ago. I mean, he's been a pro since 2017. And then I got to thinking about Andrew Wiggins because he had, you know, his brief time at Kansas. And last night he had that great game. He's 27. It kind of reinforces back in the day we used to say NBA stood for no babies allowed. And these guys still come in, but you want to win an NBA championship, you do it with seasoned veterans. Ultimately, that's the key.
But you know what? But you say that, which it's interesting though. But even Jason Tatum at 24 years old, he was a 2017 first-round pick. I mean, he feels like a seasoned veteran absolutely. Even at 24 years old.
Yeah, no, and it used, but traditionally it just feels like, and you know, you'd have to really put a pencil to it and go back and look, but it feels like 5, 6, 7 years is what it takes you to get yourself into that situation where you play for an NBA championship. There's always a young guy who's on there, but you know, become the cornerstone of teams.
So so that's a good point. So I was thinking of like Steph Curry, right? So Steph Curry was drafted in he had that great run at Davidson. So he was he was the first round pick in 2009. So they won their first championship in Golden State in 2015. So he was 6 years in when he finally won a title.
Yeah, and you know, he looks like a baby. He's 34 years old now. Yeah. So, but as we said last week, God, he just keeps getting better and better, and he's just magnificent.
Do you think he'll win Finals MVP?
Right now, it could be him or Wiggins, right?
I guess.
But yeah, I mean, you know, I've been in the voting for things like that, and the media people who get to vote, I don't trust them. They just go with the popular choice. So yeah, I would say, you know, it's like the quarterback always gets, you know, MVP of the game. You know?
Well, you know, the thing is though with Curry, that has been the narrative around him in these finals, right? It's that he's never won a Finals MVP. The first one was Iguodala, and then the next two that they won were both Kevin Durant. So, although he's won 3 titles, he's never won an NBA Finals MVP, which some consider as like the one missing piece on his, you know, legacy mantle, and maybe this would be the year, but then he has kind of the turd performance last night where he goes 0 for 9 from 3, and now people are saying is maybe Wiggins going to win the Finals MVP. Do you think that the Warriors end up winning one of the next 2? Do you think they win the Finals?
Yes.
Do you think they win it in 6 or 7?
7, just because home court is such a big deal, and because I always like seeing it go 7. I love hearing Game 7. Such a great thing.
Yeah, you come down to a 1-game season in any sport. It's
way fun.
It is, and it's compelling because I mean I remember whenever do you remember in 2008 when the Celtics and the Lakers played in that great finals and it went to 7, but in Game 7 the Celtics just absolutely obliterated the Lakers in that game. That was the Kevin Durant anything is possible. I'm trying to look up the final score of that game, but it was a completely lopsided blowout in that Game 7. It was.
I can't believe you recall.
Here you go. Here it was. It was 131-92. I'm saying that was actually Game 6. It didn't go 7. They finished it in 6, but it was 131-92. I mean, it's just crazy though. You get to a closeout game like that, and you can have a result where you win by 40 points in an NBA Finals game.
It happens. I'm actually doing, as we're saying, I'm looking up the list of NBA Game 7s, NBA Finals Game 7s.
I wonder how many of them you were alive for.
Well, the first one was before I was born, but I guess I've been alive for all but 4 of them.
So, Lee Feinswog continues to define himself as an old human being who loves 2 things really in life.
Yes.
One of them you haven't mentioned yet.
Well, I was trying to go ding-free for you, this
Why
week,
would you go ding-free? Why in the world would we ever go ding-free? It's like one of the things. It's like you have a checklist. We have to get your Sports Monday plug. I have to call you Larry Feinstein. You have to mention volleyball, and then we talk about beer.
They got you. You covered it.
Well, all right, you don't have anything volleyball to mention. I'm really disappointed.
I'm literally currently watching the Volleyball World Beach Pro Championships on VB.TV. They just ended for the day.
How's it going?
So it's all right. All 7 American pairs on the men and the women all made it into the winners brackets.
Freaking fantastic.
So they've all guaranteed at least $7,000 each.
Wow, I mean, what a day. What a day. Play in the sand. Is this beach or did you say this beach or is this?
That's beach, but our respective indoor national teams are playing in a tournament called the Volleyball Nations League. Oh, your guys are just sleeping. They're just sleeping.
I looked at him and he was laughing at it. And I'm like, hey, bro, you missed the bell.
Go to volleyballmag.com and read all about it.
There we go. I love to hear that.
There you go.
Hey, okay, what's coming up on Sports Monday?
Well, it's Sports 225, as you well know, and we're in the best of for the summer. And I haven't picked this week's yet. I'm going to do it tomorrow.
Am I not? Am I not up for bid here?
I told you you haven't. You didn't make the cut this year. You never came on. I'd have to go into another year and pick one out of you. And so I just got you lined up to come on first when we come back in August.
How did you do an entire season and not invite me onto your show?
I don't know.
I invite you onto this show
every week.
I invite you here every week, and I think for as long as you've done Sports Monday, I've been on.
Every week. No, actually not true, because talk about how old were you in 1995?
I mean, even back whenever, like the year in 2014 when we were in Houston, you came to Houston and did an episode with me in Houston. Like, I feel like I've been on your show every year as long as I've been in media until now. This one, you're telling me you never invited me this season.
A lot of years.
How about we do a summer episode, a live one? Not live, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Okay.
A new one.
All right. What are you doing tomorrow?
Yeah, any day but tomorrow would be good.
You're killing me. You're killing me. Why do I fall for this and come on with you every week? Because I have a great beer when you're ready. That's for sure.
All right. Let's talk about beer.
All right.
What is the malted liquor? What gets you drunker quicker? What comes in bottles or in cans? Beer. Can't get enough of it. Beer. How we really love it. Beer. Makes me think I'm a man. Beer. I could kiss and hug it, but I'd rather chug it. Beer. Got my belly out to here. Beer. I could not refuse it. I could really use a beer. Beer.
Take it away.
Well, since I mentioned that I was in Dallas, they're doing great stuff in Texas, too. I did have one of my favorites, Fire Ant Funeral. It's an amber. It was great, but that's not my beer.
Okay.
My beer is by NOLA Brewing Company, Must Have Been the Wrong Time, which is, a play off the Dr. John song. And it's a really, really nice IPA. And as they say, it has an aroma of bright grapefruit, orange citrus, and sweet pine. It did have a real interesting smell. The taste, ripe strawberry, citrus, slightly sweet, very low bitterness, very true. But here's the thing that got me, and I didn't realize this until I read the marketing notes. It says mouthfeel, silky, soft body. And it really did have that. It was really a silky, soft body. And here's another thing you'll like, because you like a strong beer. It's 7%, Matt.
Hey.
But Must Have Been the Wrong Time by NOLA Brewing Company, an India Pale Ale with Azaka and Citra hops. And it is really nice. It's available around here in nice cans with a cool kind of, wrapping on them. And it's just nice to have another good local IPA. This one tastes a little bit different.
NOLA's one of the ones we went to on our beer tour back in the day.
Yep.
Really enjoyed that. Great food at NOLA Brewing as well, if I remember correctly. Good menu of food.
Yes.
And I wanted to tell you, so the Bourbon Society of Baton Rouge, talk about them often. David Steele, the guys who do an awesome job, guys and gals. We are doing, or they put together a bus tour that Jay Ducote and I are going to be on, but we're going to the Sazerac House and we're going to like Avenue Pub.
Nice.
So it's more of a whiskey thing, but we are going to make a stop at Urban South.
Very nice.
And that was one of the ones we went to
Very
as well, right? Like really big. That was the
Yeah.
one, like a really big, almost warehouse, like they had like arcade games and stuff in there. Am I right? Like cornhole
Probably,
and all that stuff.
A big old place with inside a giant circus tent. It feels like with probably the best beer coming out of New Orleans.
You think Urban South is?
Yes, but this particular day, Like I said, it's Nola Brewing Company's IPA called Must Have Been the Wrong Time.
Well, it must be a right time.
There you
to
go.
Get a must have been a wrong time from Nola. Okay, I tried to tie it together, and I just
tried,
you know what I did? I fell on the dismount. I didn't land. I didn't land the damn plane. My bad.
See, I thought your guys by now would have started queued up Dr. John. They would have had that, maybe a few more dings, but no. All right, I got to go.
Musso, do you know who Dr. John is?
Yes.
Do you know one song by Dr. John?
Could not name a song, no.
There you go. Could you pick Dr. John out of a lineup if you saw a picture of him?
No.
That's why you did not hear the song, Lee. Lee,
Matt.
as we started earlier,
Matt.
You are very old. You are alive for all but 4 Game 7s in the NBA Finals.
Anybody who knows music, who lives in Louisiana as well, has got to know Dr. John. Mac Rebenak was his real name. And
hang on.
Oh,
Paulie, Paul O'Neill. Paul, Dr. John. Any idea?
I'm like Musso. I've heard the name. Couldn't say anything about it.
You're 0 for 2, Lee.
Oh gosh! All right, so I'll leave you with this. So there's a documentary out there about the band. It's an old documentary, but it's called The Last Waltz, and it's great. If any of you love music as much as you love beer, and you've never seen The Last Waltz, it's fantastic. But
Right.
Dr. John makes an appearance in that, and he sings the song in question.
What's the song in question, by the way? Because I don't know Dr. John.
Must have been the right place. Must have been the wrong time.
Got it. Muse, let's make that a poll question because I'm sure you haven't put a poll question yet, right? So let's make that the poll question today.
Oh, my God.
Have you heard, could you name a Dr. John song? Let's make that the poll question today. And Lee, you're going to be very disappointed with the results. That's one thing doing this show for as long as I've learned is that
the song's called, right?
You keep getting older and the world continues to skew younger because you stay in your prime, which for you was probably like the 1940s or so. And then the rest of the world continues going on, and you just forget everything about popular culture, and you think everyone knows the thing that you know, and they don't. We had this conversation last week about Blazing Saddles. I've never seen Blazing Saddles.
Well, then that's just tragic.
And it's not
just
tragic. It's a movie from the 1970s that I have no desire to see at all.
Tragic. I sent you a link.
Tragedy
to a
involves
of
death,
Dr.
Lee.
John.
In a literal sense, tragedy involves death. This is not tragic. I just don't want to see your old movie. I don't want to see your old movie.
Oh, my gosh.
Should I go watch Citizen Kane while I'm at it?
Have you never seen Citizen Kane?
No. Should I watch The Grapes of Wrath in black and white too, Lee, while I'm at it? No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I have no desire to watch old movies.
Tell me you've never seen like The Maltese Falcon or Casablanca.
Don't even know what The Maltese Falcon is. I've heard of Casablanca, never seen it.
Oh, my gosh. All right, Matt. You can't be saved.
No,
go.
I'm just 30 years younger than you. Ask your son Kirk Feinswog if he's seen any of the things you just mentioned. He's my age. He will tell you no. He'll say, "Dad, you're so old. Stop calling me." That's what he'll say.
He says that anyway.
Goodbye, that's my point. Goodbye, Lee. Thank you. That is the very old Lee Feinswog. This is After Further Review.
AFR.
Brought to you by Insurance Network of Louisiana, title sponsor of our Tuesday shows all throughout the year. Better coverage for less money. So I mentioned this. I'll mention it again. We all see what's happening with inflation. The price of everything is going up. The value of the dollar is going down. It costs you $6 per gallon or $5 per gallon right now to fill up your tank. We all know that. So we're all thinking, how can we get some relief? Where can we save money? Where can we make more money? How about you start to look at your budget, what you're already spending? And insurance is part of that. We all legally have to have insurance on our home, on our vehicle, on our boat, RV, whatever it may be. And too many of us are overpaying and underinsured. Let Insurance Network of Louisiana shop independently for free to see if they can get you better coverage for less money. Stop overpaying for your insurance. 293-0450, 293-0450, or lainsurance.net.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but two NMEA-certified techs. Family-owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years, front-to-back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to fronttobackboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front to Back Boat Service.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Voting is now open in the 1045 ESPN Rad Dad contest. Head to 1045ESPN.com and choose which photo you love the most of dads doing dad things. On June 16th, we'll crown our winner with a full-day guided offshore fishing trip for up to 6 people out of Grand Isle with Double J Charters and a 20-quart Gator cooler courtesy of Mallard Bay, plus a Father's Day gift of meats from Bet R Supermarkets Deli. Cast your vote now at 1045ESPN.com.
Collier Cranford entered the transfer portal today. Leah Van tweeted it earlier. It apparently showed up in one of the transfer portal sites, and then she tweeted that Leah Van of The Advocate tweeted that she confirmed it via source. So Collier Cranford becomes the third LSU baseball player now to enter the transfer portal. Last week, it was first Giovanni DiGiacomo, the outfielder, then Brennan Holt entered the transfer portal, and we learned committed to Oklahoma State. And now Collier Cranford becomes the third LSU Tiger to enter the transfer portal. Cranford is sort of an interesting case because he was a guy from Zachary who came in with the reputation of being really, really good defensively. And as LSU struggled defensively, there sort of became this, I don't want to say a rallying cry, but certainly a movement for him to play more. And he got a couple of opportunities this year, maybe against Grambling, and he kicked a couple of balls while they were searching for an option, went back to the bench. And when Jacob Berry was injured, re-entered, played a really solid third base. But obviously the bugaboo with Cranford is offensive. For his career, just a 158 hitter at LSU. Struck out 40 times in 120 at-bats, so right at one-third of his at-bats he struck out. And you can't strike out in a third of your at-bats and hit 158 and never hit a homer in his career. So you have no power, you're not hitting for average for power, and you're not even putting the ball in play a third of your at-bats. It's just how that's going to go sometimes. You're just not going to get many opportunities to play. So Cranford will seek another place to play, and that's the third now that we know, if you're looking at LSU's roster, that is entered the portal. And I'm going to continue to remind you, you're going to hear stories like this every day. Players entering the portal, and then you're going to similarly hear of players committing to LSU. So when you kind of look through the roster right now, you know some of the names. Drew Bianco has another year of eligibility. It's unlikely he returns. On Friday, if you were here, both Terrio and Ronnie Rance hinted that they knew something about Bianco going to play his final season of eligibility for his dad, almost like a student coach type role. Giovanni DiGiacomo has entered the transfer portal. Gavin Dugas was with us on Friday as well, and he said he would 1,000% return to LSU if the draft didn't work out the way that he hopes. And I think it's kind of looking like he's going to return. If he wasn't drafted after his junior season when he hit 19 homers, or I guess redshirt sophomore season, when he hit 19 homers, it's hard to imagine him getting drafted this year when he hit 5 and was basically injury plagued. So if Dugas doesn't hear his name called, he's likely back. We're going to see what happens with a guy like Brody Drost. And it seems like, having not had the opportunity to play, he will likely transfer out of here. Jacob Berry is a guy that we know is going to sign a pro contract. He'll be a top 10 pick. Collier Cranford has entered the portal. We would probably expect the same from a guy like Will Safford, although we don't have any word yet there. Again, I don't want to purport to know anything because I don't. Raiselman will sign a pro contract. Cade Beloso could well return. I believe Hayden Travinsky will be back. Tyler McManus has exhausted his eligibility, as has Devin Fontenot and Trent Vittmeyer. Trey Schaefer as well was a grad transfer, so his eligibility is expired. I think we expect Paul Gervais will sign a pro contract. So, you run through that list of players and, who may be back, and it starts to crystallize a little more of who you're going to have back and who you're not going to have back. Blaze Priester is going to go the JUCO route. Mikhail Hilliard has exhausted his eligibility. And remember, the roster is going from 40 to 35. So you're already going to have 5 fewer guys on the roster. The handful that we just talked about, we expect to sign pro contracts. The handful that have exhausted their eligibility. And you're going to have more guys enter the portal. So you got to make room for guys in this signing class that don't go pro, that end up on campus, and then whatever transfers like Dylan Tabrock that they've already brought in from Creighton that you got to make room for. So between now and July 1, expect to hear a lot more announcements like this both ways. All right, brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette. Online at theantiagingclinics.com, theantiagingclinics.com. Remember, all this month, just $149. Get you your initial blood labs, your consultation for hormone replacement therapy, and 10% off your first round of supplements. If you want to feel like your younger self, hormone replacement therapy could be the answer. If you have trouble sleeping at night, like Lee was talking about a bit ago, if you wake up and you don't feel refreshed, if you struggle with motivation to get in the gym, if you struggle to burn fat and build muscle, that could all be your body producing less of the hormones that contribute to how we feel. This happens to literally every single human as we age, but it happens at a different rate in every single human. So a blood test can let you know if you're a candidate for hormone replacement therapy. Learn more at theantiagingclinics.com, theantiagingclinics.com. Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, right near Perkins. Big, beautiful facility. Can't miss it. Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and online, theantiagingclinics.com, theantiagingclinics.com. All right, Ben McDonald's going to be with us here in 15 minutes from right now. The College World Series field is set. Ben had the Ole Miss, Southern Miss Super Regional over in Hattiesburg, where you saw Hunter Elliott, Dylan DeLucia, pitch back-to-back shutouts of Southern Miss and punch Ole Miss's ticket to Omaha for just the second time, first time since 2014. 4 teams from the SEC West are headed to Middle America. We'll talk about that with Ben McDonald coming up about 15 minutes from right now. Musso is going to have Tigers in the pros when we come back. I am going to keep an eye to that tonight on the Texas Rangers. Remember, we had Josh Smith with us last week. He was on the IL with a shoulder injury. He had the great debut. He was hitting .417, something like that. Incredible. And went on the injured list with a shoulder injury and hasn't played since, but was supposed to be back tonight. Are they still playing the Astros? Do you know if that series is still going on? Actually, let's see. They've posted the lineup an hour ago. Yeah, they are playing Texas tonight, by the way. They're playing the Astros tonight. Josh Smith is not in the lineup tonight. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on that. Hopefully he has a chance to return this week, get back. He's with the team. They were in Chicago. Now they're playing Houston, so he's with the team. Hopefully he gets a chance real quick to get back on the field. We'll let you know when he does. All right, we'll come back, wrap up hour number 2. Muso will have Tigers and the Pros. Don't you move.
AFR.
Hey, look, accidents, injuries, illnesses, they're a part of everyday life. And if you get sick or you get injured, you got a couple of options. You can go to the ER. You can call your doctor and wait till they have an appointment available. Or go to the Baton Rouge General Express Care location. You'll see a doctor promptly that can get you treated and get you on with your life. brgeneral.org. Baton Rouge General Express Care locations. This is walk-in urgent care 7 days a week. 3 locations. Dutchtown, right next to Dutchtown High School. Highland, which is just through the south gates of LSU. And then on Nicholson, which is directly across from Tiger Stadium, right next to Torchy's. You can check wait times online. You can check in online. They've got a lab, x-ray machines, EKG at all the locations. They treat a variety of different illnesses and injuries. Check them out at brgeneral.org.
My own people call me an Uncle Tom. I play music. Been wined and dined by royalty. Trying to bring people together. All people. But regardless of all that kind of stuff, I'm still Louis Armstrong.
Here's the man you're waiting for, the king of jazz, Louis Satchmo Armstrong.
This isn't just another day, it's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her Auctioner primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an Auctioner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law offices of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
after further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
So when Lee was with us earlier this hour, none of us, me, Muso, or Paulie, could name a Dr. John song. Lee, of course, was aghast. Mark Welch texted the show and said Dr. John did the theme song from Blossom. Pull that up, by the way, please, if you would. The theme song from Blossom, Popeye's commercials in the 1980s, and Right Place, Wrong Time was in Dazed and Confused. Okay, I've never seen Dazed and Confused, by the way, also. That's going to surprise a lot of you.
I'm surprised by that. Okay.
Dazed and Confused was
good movie.
Late 80s, maybe?
Early 90s?
Late 80s, early
93,
90s?
I think, actually.
Oh, well.
I think. I could be wrong.
Never saw it.
Good film.
Maybe so. Never saw it. I've seen a lot of the iconic scenes and stuff from it, but I've never seen it like. It's one of those things I've just never seen like all the way through. People are always still want to tell them I've never seen The Godfather all the way through. Seen iconic scenes from it. No
You're
lines.
talking about like the first Godfather? You've never seen the trilogy all the way through?
No, the first one. I've never seen it
Scott.
all the way through.
I know you're not a movie guy.
I'm not a big movie guy.
I know, but that's a classic.
And then everybody has their. So then this guy. Wait, hang on. Trey Simmons. Hey, that's bringing me back.
This looks
Blossom.
Interesting.
You never saw that show?
Never saw Blossom.
Okay, so Blossom.
Oh, Maya B. Alex in that. Okay, wow.
She was Blossom. Her best friend was Six. Joey Lawrence was in Blossom as well.
The cast, man.
But again, like it's pop culture. It's what you know. That was the whole point about with Leo. Muse, I can't believe you've never seen Blossom.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, it was a early mid '90s sitcom.
But I'm a big sitcom guy, so I'm actually kind of surprised I didn't see Blossom.
Well, this guy Trey Simmons says, if you don't know who Dr. John is, you are an imbecile. I'm 27, by the way. No, Trey Simmons. I just don't like the same things in popular culture that you do. Dr. John was born in 1941. I looked it up. He died in 2019. He's just an old musician. I don't like a lot of old music. So, sorry. I'm more of a rock, hip-hop guy. You want to talk about Zeppelin, Stones. You want to get into that stuff? I know tons of that. You might not know that. It's all right. Doesn't mean you're an imbecile. It just means that's not your thing. People have different likes. It's popular culture. Some people like rock. Some people like jazz. Some people like yellow. Some people like green. It's a big world. We can all have different opinions. Be tolerant of each other. I don't particularly know his music or like his music. That's okay, too. Now, if you're Muse and Paul and you don't know 311, you're an imbecile. Speaking of which, Muse, Tigers in the pros. I wonder if
Tigers
Trey
in the
Simmons knows
pros,
311.
they still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
Well, the Phillies did it again, Matt. They let Aaron Nola go out there and pitch his heart out, only to have a no decision. 7 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, didn't walk anybody, and struck out 6. 107 pitches, how about 75 strikes? And another no decision.
And a no decision.
In another news, the sky is blue.
Get him out of Philadelphia.
Please. Austin Nola, his
Yankees
brother.
need to sign him.
No, whoa. Easy with that. Chill out.
Hey, bro. You saw we're on pace for 119, huh?
Nah, come on. That's not going to happen.
Yankees are on pace for the best record in the history of baseball.
Only to potentially blow it in the playoffs. Austin
they'll
Nola,
win the World Series this year. Samara said they're not going to win the division.
But you said they'd win the World Series.
But they win the World Series. They are looking like they're going to win the division.
That was your way of to try to not be a homer, but also be a homer at the same time.
I'm sorry. Who's the best team in baseball?
No, that's what I'm saying when your preseason
How is that a homer pick? How is that a homer pick?
Your preseason.
How is it a homer pick?
You
They're the best
picked
team
your
in
favorite
baseball.
team to win the World Series.
They're the best team in baseball.
That was before we knew that.
Are you going to call me a homer?
Yes.
You're calling me a homer?
Yes.
Of all people
Yep,
in this business that
right
you would
now.
call a homer.
Just did it.
I get
a Yankees homer, not a
defecated
LSU
upon.
homer.
I get defecated upon by this audience verbally and on the interwebs for air quotes hating their favorite team. You're going to call me a homer?
A Yankees
I do
homer.
everything I can to not be a homer.
Austin Nola.
No, I am a Cali guy.
Wait a minute now.
Gigantic Cali guy.
Was 2 for 4 last night with 2 singles. Sylvia Fowles.
Big Sil.
Has a knee injury,
Yes,
unfortunately.
You did something I asked.
Yeah.
You did
You like
something I
that.
asked.
You like that. All right, only got 30 seconds. She has a knee injury. She's out indefinitely. MRI revealed cartilage. Sam Burns tees off at the U.S. Open, 12:14 Central Time Thursday. That's Tigers in the Pros.
What about Curtis Thompson?
He's not playing in the U.S. Open.
Why do you hate him?
Because I was talking about the U.S. Open. That's Tigers in the Pros.
What's Curtis Thompson doing this weekend?
I don't know. I was talking about the U.S. Open. We'll get to him on Thursday.
Get him on the phone, and I'm going to ask him. Bring him. I'm going to confront you with him one day. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. They're the best. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. Hour 3 next.
AFR.
Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. Windows doors siding. I always say that really quickly, windows doors siding. Of course, you can get energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors. But remember, at Relief Windows, hardy plank and vinyl siding as well. Go to the website, reliefwindows.com, and you'll see right there on the homepage, Windows doors siding. Tap the siding tab, and you'll see why replacing siding could be a great benefit, how you can save money and be more energy efficient, beautify the exterior of your home, how durable it is, the quality, the innovation. If you want answers there about the hardy plank and the vinyl siding they offer, why it's energy efficient, the low maintenance, its water resistance, the long-lasting quality, all the information is there at reliefwindows.com. So, of course, yes, they are energy-efficient replacement windows. They are beautiful entry doors, but they are also hardy plank and vinyl siding. Learn more at Relief Windows. If you dread the high cost of painting, don't do it. Hardy plank and vinyl siding from reliefwindows.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Come on over to Corval Toyota to pre-order your next vehicle, and you'll never pay over MSRP. Browse, reserve, pick up, and enjoy. It's that simple. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi, breaking news from the NHL. A little over a week after he was surprisingly fired as Bruins coach, Bruce Cassidy has a new job. He's been hired as the new coach of the Golden Knights, reports ESPN's Kevin Weeks. 2 days before teeing off at the U.S. Open, Rory McIlroy says he understands why some aging players were tempted by millions of dollars in signing bonuses to join LIV Golf. Also said he's disappointed some PGA Tour players took the easy way out in joining the rival Saudi-backed series. McIlroy was also asked if he's lost respect for Phil Mickelson, who helped create the new tour.
As a golfer, no. I think he won a major championship 13 months ago. Am I disappointed he's taken the route that he's taken? I am, but I still respect him tremendously.
Rory McIlroy. Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson again said he's innocent of the allegations of inappropriate sexual conduct made against him. He also said he has no regrets about many of his actions, but does regret the impact the allegations have had on the people around him. 24 civil lawsuits have been filed against Watson, alleging inappropriate sexual conduct.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. And now, a no-frills ad brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Here it is. You could save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. That's it. See? Just a good old-fashioned, straightforward ad. See if you could save at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE or Progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Musso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. All 8 tickets to the College World Series have been punched. Half of them reside in the SEC West. Ben McDonald, good enough to join us. He was on the call for the Hattiesburg Super Regional this past weekend, where Ole Miss makes their second trip to Omaha. Ben, thanks for the time. How are you?
Doing good. How about you?
Man, I'm doing awesome. Was Ole Miss the biggest surprise in the Omaha field? Go ahead and pick that up, Musi. I think we're losing Ben. Let's see if we can get him back. I want to ask him, about certainly the Super Regional he had with Ole Miss and the way that they turned it on and got back here into the mix. All right, Musi's going to call him back. I don't know what happened there with Ben's phone, but we'll get him right back up. We'll talk about the College World Series field in about 15 minutes from right now. Saints were out at minicamp today. We'll let you hear from Dennis Allen to recap the action, especially having a lot of notable faces back out at minicamp today, including Alvin Kamara, who was working out on the field, and a lot of the draft picks as well. So we'll get to that with here in about 15 minutes or so. All right, we got Ben back. Ben, I'm not sure if you heard the question was asking. Ole Miss, the Super Regional you had, are they the most surprising team in this field?
No, I don't think so. I really think that Notre Dame going into Knoxville and knocking off the number one seed in the country, by far the best team I've seen in a long, long time. I think Notre Dame is probably the biggest surprise.
So I don't think there's any doubt. Notre Dame up in Tennessee the way they did, they looked really good. Let's focus a little bit on the SEC West teams that are going. But A&M and Auburn each had really strong years. I guess to a degree Arkansas did as well with 18 conference wins. But Arkansas and Ole Miss, I don't think before this regional action would have begun would have been anybody's pick to make it to Omaha. For each of them, how did they get it done?
Well, for Ole Miss, you just got to, normally what happens this time of the year is teams start to elevate the ones that do make these runs, and something gets better about what they've done all year long. Remember, Ole Miss was thought of a lot, in the preseason, and then they were ranked number one in the country early in the year, then it kind of got sideways. Their starting pitching wasn't added up, and all of a sudden about halfway through the year, Mike Bianco, added a couple of new faces into that weekend rotation, and it really paid off. Hunter Elliott who the kid threw the second game in that Super Regional against Southern Miss, was outstanding. And he put Dylan DeLucia out of the bullpen, too, and put him in that weekend rotation as well. And they started to really get going a little bit at that point. Now, the offense had always been really good, but it got more consistent. I think one thing that nobody's really talking about, we know LSU really struggled on defense this year. Well, Ole Miss is right there with LSU for most of the year. They fielded like 13th out of 14 teams in the SEC, and defense cost them a lot too. If you look down the stretch, their defense got a lot better, and their pitching really amped up. And I think in a nugget for you, I mean, really sums up Ole Miss down the stretch is they didn't have one shutout the entire year with their pitching staff. Even midweek games playing a bunch of nobody, they didn't have one shutout, and they throw back-to-back shutouts against a very good Southern Miss team in Hattiesburg. So that kind of sums up where Ole Miss is. I mean, those veteran guys, Tim Elko and Graham, Chatinier, really came together, some guys that had kind of been there before and older guys. And, look, they got it going. And I think the fact, guys, they snuck in is like the 64 team. Because, look, when they left Hoover, Alabama at the SEC tournament, I was sitting there going, man, Ole Miss has got 14 wins. They're a bubble team. And then Sunday rolled around and the bid stealing started going on. I said, man, I don't know if Ole Miss is going to make it to the tournament. And I didn't think that they really thought they were going to get in at that point. And then when they got in, probably as a 64th team to get in, I think they kind of had a chance to say, you know what, we're playing with house money a little bit right now, and let's just go out and have fun. And they started playing, and they went to Coral Gables and look and just kind of swept through that. The pitching got a lot better over in Coral Gables, and that carried right into a big weekend. And they caught Southern Miss at a pretty good time. Southern Miss's pitching is awesome. It's the number 2 pitching staff in the whole country. But Southern Miss was not swinging it well even going into that Super Regional. I mean, their averages were off a little bit. And look, Ole Miss pitching was just better.
Hey, Ben, so Ole Miss is going to take on Auburn. I mean, there'll be an SEC West matchup in Omaha. Who do you like in that game?
That's a great question because, I mean, I look at Auburn, too, and I go, they won 5 of their 10 SEC series. That didn't impress me a whole lot. They were 7-7 down the stretch, and they went 0-2, quickly, or 0-1 in Hoover. And I went, okay, I don't know about this Auburn team, but it kind of got hot, too. I mean, it started off in their own regional. And look, they scored 19 runs in game 1, 21 runs in game 2, 11 runs in game 3 of their regional for an offense that's been solid all year long, but not great. And so I think they kind of peaked at the right time. I'm still concerned about Auburn's pitching. I mean, it's a 4.5 ERA overall. Trace Bright, their number 1 guy, got knocked out, in the Super Regional. He didn't even make an inning the other day. So I'm still a little bit concerned. But the back end of their bullpen, Carson Skipper and John Armstrong, of course, Blake Burkhalter, their closer, they are outstanding. So if they can shorten the game on you and get a little bit of length out of their starting pitching, the back end of that bullpen is really, really good. And, of course, they got one of the biggest characters in Sonny DeShera in all of college baseball. You guys have seen him. I mean, he doesn't look like a baseball player, but he put up 392, 22 homers, and 59 RBIs this year. He's a real dude. But he's the only guy in that lineup that's got double-digit home runs. And so you know how it is, guys. It's not always the best team. It's who's playing the best when you get down the stretch. And you can make the case that Auburn and certainly Ole Miss, I don't think anybody wants to play those teams in Omaha, sure.
He's on Twitter at Real Ben McDonald. The action Friday gets started, Ben, with Oklahoma against Texas A&M. Ben, could you have seen this from Jim Schlossnagle in year 1, getting that Texas A&M team here?
Not even close. Not even close. I mean, you're talking about a team he took over that won 9 conference games last year, a team that was 500 last year. And he hit the – and that's one thing that, you do like about the transfer portal. If you're trying to reload real quick, you can do it. And it's kind of like Schlossnagle went and he was making a gumbo. And he went and got all these pieces around the country and he just threw it all in the pot. And, man, it came out smelling like a rose. I mean, they just kind of took off and they walked into LSU opening weekend of conference play, if you remember right, and they beat LSU after a bunch of – I heard from them, hey, I don't know how good we are. I don't know how good we're going to be. We're hurt right now. I got a lot of new guys. And they took off. And, look, they won their final 7 SEC series, and that's what I knew that A&M was for real for sure, And they got some – Jack Moss is really good, and Boast and Dylan Rock, and they got a real dude, that pitches for them. And Connor Nolan – not Connor Nolan, Detner and Micah Dallas are pretty good in that weekend rotation. So there's enough there for them, too. If Tennessee would have made it, guys, I'd be sitting there saying Tennessee's the odds-on favorite to win this thing. But the fact Tennessee didn't make it, I couldn't tell you who is the favorite right now, but I feel like all these teams, obviously, that are in it are playing well right now. So it should be a good College World Series.
Ben, have you gotten to see the non-SEC teams, if it's Notre Dame, Stanford, Texas, Oklahoma, have you gotten to see those teams this year?
No, I have not. I have not seen any of them, just a little bit I've caught on TV, and I know Texas is very physical. They got Ivan Melendez, who you guys have heard about. He's probably going to be the National Player of the Year. He's probably going to win the Golden Spikes award, no doubt about it. And they're very physical. I mean, put it like this. Texas program record for home runs in the season was 81. They did that in 2010. They've hit 128 home runs this year. So they're a very, very physical team, a team that hits 318 overall. They average a little over 8 runs per game. So it's not a typical Texas team where you think about, wow, you're kind of pitching and outstanding defense. It's more of an offensive Texas team, but it still can play defense. But I'm not really sold that much on their pitching either, So I don't know what to think what we're going to get at the College World Series. The balls are amped up. There's no doubt about that. I mean, we're seeing more home runs hit this year than we're back in the gorilla ball days is what it feels like, And so even though it's a bigger ballpark, I think we're going to see some home runs in Omaha.
Ben, if you had to pick one of the SEC teams to advance, I don't know how closely you've looked at the bracket, but who would you like maybe to find their way into that championship series and maybe win it?
I have a hard time getting away from Ole Miss. I just think it almost feels like Mike Bianco's time. The water was hot around him about a month and a half ago. There were some rumblings about his job, which I thought was crazy. I mean, he's only been to 18 NCAA tournaments in 21 years now at Ole Miss and totally turned that program around. But I just feel like those guys had a big chance to go home early from Hoover, hit the reset button, thought they were out, all of a sudden caught their second win. And now it's like, hey, we're just playing with house money. Let's go have some fun right now. And I'm telling you, their pitching staff is really, really hot right now, and their defense is amped up, and the offense is really rolling. So I think Ole Miss, you're talking about an SEC team, I think they got a real shot at getting through.
One thing's for sure, Ben, they have figured out their rotation with DeLucia and with Hunter Elliott, and they swing it as well as anyone. Man, I don't know if anybody wants to play them right now. That's why College World Series is always a really fun event. We'll be watching this weekend. He is Ben McDonald. Ben, are you going to be on the call for any of the action there in Omaha, or are you heading back to call the Orioles?
I am. No, I'm leaving in the morning to head to Omaha, and I'll have the dayside game. So I'll actually open up between Oklahoma Sooners and Texas A&M. I'll be on the dayside the first 7 or 8 days there, and so I'll be there at the 1 o'clock game every day.
That's awesome, man. We'll look forward to hearing you on the call, Ben. We always appreciate a couple of minutes, man. Thank you.
Anytime. Take care.
All right, that is Ben McDonald on Twitter, @RealBenMcDonald. So it's great. So Ben will have the day games there in Omaha. It does get started with an SEC team. I mean, look, basically, all but one of the games that you're going to see are going to involve an SEC team. You'll have Oklahoma, Texas A&M in the first game, and you'll have Notre Dame, Texas, and then you'll have Arkansas, Stanford, and then an all SEC game with Ole Miss and Auburn with the fourth game, the second game on Saturday. So as much as I hate to say it, I kind of agree with Ben that of all those teams, look, A&M and Schlossnagle have put together a really good season, and they are deserving of being where they were. Arkansas, I don't know that they could survive on the arm of Connor Nolan alone, and I don't think Auburn has the pitching. And of course, I say that they just went up to Corvallis and beat Oregon State. Ole Miss is the team that if they play in the winner's bracket, that's the key, because with DeLucia and Elliott, I think they can win their first 2 and then have someone have to come back and beat them twice. I think they could play themselves into the championship series where you could probably get each of those guys can pitch 3 times for you. But you got to play through the winner's bracket. And if you don't, I don't know how they get that done. Boy, it's hard to look away from Notre Dame, isn't it? I mean, you go on the road and do what you did against Tennessee. It is really, really hard to look away from Notre Dame after what they did. The country, and if they were healthy all year, who knows? Maybe Texas is the odds-on favorite, the one we're all looking at going, oh, they're the obvious pick, but they're not and haven't been. Notre Dame can ding them on Friday night. It's a 7 o'clock first pitch. So College World Series about to get underway, and boy, there's a heavy SEC flair with 4 teams from the SEC West, and of course Oklahoma and Texas, a couple teams that will be in the SEC in short order. All right, it's after further review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. We'll knock out a quick break. Recap Saints minicamp, day 1. When we come back, let's hear from Dennis Allen. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Today was the day at the Scone household. Our automatic standby generator from Schutz Electric installed today. They were great through the whole process. Got a call early this morning from Tommy over at Schutz. Let me know they were on the way. They coordinated with Entergy because you got to turn off the power when you're doing the install. They kept us up to date, informed about the whole thing. The crew was awesome. I could not be more impressed with the communication, the level of customer service we got from Schutz Electric. Look, power outages, storms, it's a part of our reality in South Louisiana. I've had so many people tell me, Matt, this is the best money you're ever going to spend. It's a great investment. You'll never have to worry. Look, last year during Ida, we lost power for about a week. And when we lose power like everyone else, it's pretty miserable around here. And then you're talking about long lines for gas and ice and all that sort of stuff. An automatic standby generator, you never have to worry about it again. Power goes out, your generator comes on, powers your whole house. Schutz Electric. CESofLA.com. It's affordable. Financing is available. CESofLA.com.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli? I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but two NMEA certified techs. Family owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years. Front-to-back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to fronttobackboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front to Back Boat Service.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
That was a good day today. Great to have everybody out here, 100% attendance. So that was great to see. Excited about that. Again, got a chance to work some situational football, and so we've got 2 more days here this spring to try to improve ourselves, and then we start getting ready for training camp. So,
minicamp underway in New Orleans. Dennis Allen leading his first mandatory minicamp with the Saints, and perfect attendance is a great thing, right? I mean, that's where you got to start, because this is the time of the year where whenever you have guys that have contract issues or disputes or holdouts or anything like that, this is the time of the year where they got to make the decision. Are they going to show up to a mandatory event, or are they going to hold out? OTAs are optional. They're organized team activities, but they are optional. They are not mandatory. So this would be the time where you really want everybody there so you know who's aligned and all that stuff is good. So all of your rookies were there. Michael Thomas was there in uniform, although not participating. Alvin Kamara, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Demario Davis, all of your veterans were there. Your new signees with, of course, Tyrann Mathieu and Jarvis Landry. Marcus May was out there rocking the number 6. All these guys that you would hope would be out there all were, and that was a great thing. Let's get into some of what Dennis Allen had to say coming out of this first day here of a minicamp. Excuse me. Can you play number 10, please, Muse? First of all, let's start with the big picture. The goal of this minicamp here this week.
It's the same things that we talked about when we started the OTAs. I mean, I think this is a time to really work on your fundamentals and your technique. You're really kind of getting a skeleton look at scheme, what we're going to do offensively, defensively, and in the kicking game. And really, it's just about getting your team together and beginning to develop that team chemistry and that team bonding.
So I completely agree with that. And that's a fantastic thing to get all these guys out there together. Now, there is some actual functional work that can be done here this week with the fact that you have tryout players. Senio Kelmete is out there, the former Saint. Joe Schobert, the linebacker, we talked about earlier in this week as well, or last week. From the last year was a starter with the Pittsburgh Steelers. The year before was started with Jacksonville. This guy's been a starting linebacker in the NFL. He's trying to earn a roster spot there this week. And then there's David Johnson, the running back, the former All-Pro in 2016 with the Cardinals. He's been with the Texans the past couple of years. And the Saints need running back help. We've talked about it so much this offseason. Here was Dennis Allen talking about his visit with David Johnson.
As with anything, we're just trying to bring in guys that we want to take a look at that we think potentially could help us at some point. David Johnson's been a good player in our league, and we thought he was a guy that we wanted to at least get a look at.
So he didn't elaborate a lot there, but at least get a look at it. And Sean Payton would do this often. He would bring guys in on a tryout basis or 2 camps or OTAs or stuff like this, just so they would have sort of an updated scouting report on guys to know, hey, look, if we end up short on a guy, we can call him back. If in a given week, like let's say, knock on wood, but if you have an injury and you need a running back, okay, well, we saw him here. We know he has some familiarity with what we're doing. We like the player. Bring him in. So to that end, it's important, but it's also very important because you need running back depth. I mean, I'm hopeful that Mark Ingram could be a really productive back, but he also missed time in the short time he was with you last year. And we've talked about it that Mark Ingram, since that great season he had in Baltimore, has just seen his productivity decrease. What more does he have left? We could say the same thing about David Johnson. I mean, it's a very fair question, but you won't know until you bring a guy like that in. And the roster of free agent running backs available is running thin. Now, all of this, of course, stems from the fact that, let me rephrase. Much of this stems from the fact that Alvin Kamara is likely going to miss 6 games for you. So, a couple of things on Kamara here from Dennis Allen. Can you play number 4, please? This is Dennis Allen when he's asked, what is the plan if Kamara has to miss games?
Those are thoughts that have kind of gone through our mind already, but yet I'm not really focused on the things that I don't control right now. I'm really focused on the things that we have control over. And then, we'll have a plan if anything, comes up. But, right now, we're just practicing football and trying to get ready for the season.
To say that he's partly lying. To say that you're not really thinking about that right now if that's true, that's negligent. Because the NFL rule book, just like I do. I'm a dumb radio guy. I know what the NFL rule book states, and Alvin Kamara is going to miss 6 games. So you better have a plan. And that starts now. I mean, that's why, in part, they went so hard after Abram Smith from Baylor. Gave him $200,000 as an undrafted free agent. It's why you're bringing in David Johnson right now. It's why you have Mark Ingram back. Like, you need options at that position for the inevitability of Alvin Kamara's absence. Now, You don't have to, like, show your hand. That's fine. But you can't say that you're not really thinking about it right now because you better be thinking about it. And, look, there is no update on the Kamara legal situation, but Dennis Allen was asked about it.
Until there's, much being said, there's really not anything to do, so we just kind of focus on the football, and certainly when there's something that we need to, take any sort of action on, we will.
Now, if there was something disappointing today, it was that 2 former first-round picks along the defensive line were not there today. Last year's first-round pick, Peyton Turner, was not there, nor was Marcus Davenport, who this was a report from Kat Terrell, who tweeted that Davenport's dealing with shoulder and finger injuries right now. As a matter of fact, here was Dennis Allen on Marcus Davenport.
Marcus is dealing more with the rehabbing from a shoulder and a finger.
So training camp is the goal for him?
Training camp would be the goal. I think we just got to kind of wait and see where he's at.
All right, so training camp means give him another month, see if he can get right and be out there for training camp. Both Davenport and Peyton Turner, it's so conflicting just thinking about it because both of those guys you have so much invested in. From a draft capital standpoint, certainly with Davenport, just with the time now in his 5th year, you picked up the 5th-year option, and when he's played, he's been good. That's undeniable. When Marcus Davenport has played, he has been exceptional. He has looked like a first-round pick. But he has not been available, and that's the problem. And now you're into your off-season program, and he's still not available, which leads you to great concern. And if Davenport and Turner are not available, then you have real depth concerns along that defensive front. So then you have these real questions of how do you address that? And that's got to be a big part of this offseason as well and this offseason work. A guy who is out there coming off of injury is, of course, Jameis Winston. And it's incredible that we've been in this segment now for, 5-6 minutes and have not yet talked about the quarterback who's coming off a torn ACL, who really is going to be the catalyst for whatever you are this season, trying to come back and be a respectable offense to complement that elite defense and see if the Saints can be a playoff team again. But first of all, Dennis Allen on Jameis Winston's knee. Sounds good.
I'm comfortable with where he's at. I don't know that I had any, expectation as to where he would be on this particular day. I know he's still, got some work to do to be, fully ready to go. And we're just going to keep working every day to kind of get there.
I just want to reiterate, though, just the fact that Jameis Winston is out there. Again, suffered that knee injury on Halloween. And the fact that he's out there now, you're talking the end of October. You're 8 months removed from that injury, right? The fact that he's out there moving around, getting ready to roll, and going through actual football drills is super encouraging. The comparison that I can give that would make sense is when Joe Burrow had his knee injury in November. Joe Burrow's, and it was more severe, but Burrow said it wasn't even until halfway through last year, till they got to their bye, that he actually felt like himself again. Jameis is out there slinging the ball and moving around and running drills. Even if he's not 100%, it's still great to see him out there right now. It's a great indication that he will be ready to go week 1. One more on Jameis from Dennis Allen.
You feel the sense of leadership from him. He's out in front of the group. He's doing a good job, getting in and out of the huddle, getting guys, getting the play called, getting guys lined up. You see him communicating with guys in between plays. So I think he's in a good spot right now.
Jameis Winston, again, coming back a year 2 here, or I guess year 2 as the starter with the New Orleans Saints, his 3rd season in New Orleans. Try to get healthy and get this team back into the playoffs. And one more from Dennis Allen. He did give an update on Will Lutz. Will Lutz, who yesterday on social media, I guess that would be on Monday on social media, announced that he has been completely cleared. Here was the head coach on his kicker.
Anytime you get anybody and they're feeling completely healthy, this is probably about the only time of the year where you're going to have a guy that's going to feel completely healthy. And so, look, I think it's good to have him out here. I'm excited about getting him back, getting him going. And, certainly it's been a long process for him. I know he's excited about getting out here and trying to help the team win.
Brett Maher. Aldrich Rosas, double doink Cody Parkey. I mean, last year was a challenge without Will Lutz. If he can revert to form, it's just a major win for this team. I mean, that just him alone returning could be the difference in a one-game win-loss swing, and that could be the difference in you being a playoff team and not, as it was a year ago. So, Saints out in the practice field getting work done here for the first day of minicamp. 3 days this week out at the practice facility. As the week goes along, we'll certainly keep you up to date. All right, it's After Further Review, brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service, name-brand tires at wholesale prices. Nobody will sell you the best tires on the road at cheaper prices than Shawbills. ShawBillsTire.com. Find the location nearest you. You can check out the promotions. Hit the promotions tab at the top of the website, and it'll tell you all the deals that they have currently from the manufacturer, their in-house offers. Ask about the Shawbills credit card. You always get $50 off whenever your first purchase with the Shawbills credit card. It's like an oil change is $49. You get a free oil change, essentially, when you use the Shawbills credit card. ShawBillsTire.com. ShawBillsTire.com. Shawbills, where we keep you rolling. All right, it's After Further Review. We'll knock out a break. Otter in about 15 minutes. Get some Otter locks for tonight. Find out what we're betting on. All that good stuff. NBA Finals will shift back out west on Thursday for Game 6 with the Celtics and the Warriors. We'll see if the Otter has some MLB picks for tonight or anything to look for with the College World Series as well getting underway. So make sure you're tuned in. Otter locks about 15 minutes from right now. When we come back, it's almost hard to believe, but a week from Thursday is the NBA draft. And there is a new consensus mock draft that's out. So they basically took some of the more prominent mock drafts and averaged them all out and put a consensus mock out. I'll tell you who they have the Pelicans taking at 8 and where they have Tari Eason going. That's next. It's AFR.
AFR.
All these triple-digit temps are nothing nice. I mean, we're talking heat indexes 105, 106. Look at South Louisiana. It's June in South Louisiana. That's what we deal with. Heat wave all over the place. Don't get stuck sweating in your house. Call River City's 1 Hour Air. If you've not done this yet, I just implore you. Make sure that you maintenance your home central AC. It's so important. The same way you maintenance your car, you maintenance any piece of important equipment. And your home central AC, that unit that keeps your family cool, it keeps your home temperature controlled, and that big box sits on side of your house 24/7, 365 and never gets a break. Make sure it's clean and tuned up and running efficiently for these warm weather months. River City's 1 Hour Air. Ask for the preseason AC tune-up. They'll come out to make sure you're in tip-top shape. 752-0001, 752-0001. Don't let a small issue become a very big, very costly issue. Call River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
This isn't just another day, it's so much more.
Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
There's a place off Ocean Avenue where I used to sit and talk with you. We were both 16 and it felt so right. Sleeping all day, staying up all night. Staying up all night.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Our Lady of the Lake Ascension and 100.7 The Tigers Swamp Pop Music Fest and Jambalaya Cook-Off is Saturday, June 25th from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. at Lamar Dixon. Thanks to our title sponsor, Our Lady of the Lake Ascension, Jambalaya Cook-Off sponsor, Mike Ward's Liberty Safes, and presenting sponsor, Supreme Chevrolet. All the proceeds from the Jambalaya plate sales will go to Alzheimer's Services. For the lineup of bands and to purchase tickets, go to 1045ESPN.com.
So I readily admit that running through a 2023 NCAA tournament bracketology on June the 14th sounds completely stupid. I get it. It sounds completely stupid. I am in no way telling you this or sharing this with you to say, well, you see, this is a complete representation of what's going to happen. You can crumple it up in a ball, throw it to trash. I don't care. The only reason I'm bringing this up is because it is at least a small window into what the perception of this LSU basketball team will be for next year. Similar to last year, we saw all the transfer rankings. You know how I feel about a list, whatever. But the takeaway was when you look at the top 100 basketball transfers, the talent that went out of Baton Rouge was greater than the talent coming in. And it's sort of validated here with this, the Joe Lunardi 2023 bracketology on June the 14th. Anyway, if you look at bracketology, Lunardi's got Gonzaga with Drew Timme back for his 37th year as the top overall seed. First team out, Providence. Last team in, St. Mary's. And then the bubble teams is where you're going to find LSU. So when he lists his bubble teams, the last 4 byes are Florida, Wyoming, St. John's, and Notre Dame. Listen, none of that really matters. Of course, you've got your last 4 in, your first 4 out, then your next 4 out, and that's where you find LSU. So he's got LSU among his next 4 out. So very squarely on the bubble. Among those 16 teams that he has as the last 4 byes, the last 4 in, the first 4 out, and the next 4 out. But unfortunately, LSU as the next 4 out. It obviously will remain to be seen if LSU's even eligible for the postseason this year. As I have held, and I'm sure many of you would agree, they will face sanctions from the Will Wade stuff. And I think LSU is going to face a postseason ban. They most certainly will face a postseason ban. If it's this year, next year, whenever, we'll see. But this does also suggest what those transfer rankings spoke to, and I think what is sort of a prevailing idea, that Matt McMahon still has an uphill climb in year one. He did a magnificent job after losing all 13 players to the transfer portal and then rebuilding the roster the way he did. I am going to maintain, though, the wild card remains Adam Miller. That is the wild card here. Because if Adam Miller can become what we think he can become, when he was supposed to be LSU's leading scorer last year and then tore the ACL, if Adam Miller can become what we expect he will become, then I'm very, very, very encouraged. I will be very encouraged by what this team can be. That's the wild card. We'll have to wait and see. All right, I'm going to get into this consensus mock draft in just a second. Remind you about Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com. 29 different locations across 11 different states, celebrating 75 years in business. They service all scale and measurement equipment, makes, and models. They can come pick up your devices, bring them to calibrate them, return them to you, or if you have equipment that you can't physically have leave your place of business, they can come to you and calibrate on site. ISO 17025 accreditation is available. It is Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Installations, calibrations, repairs, preventative maintenance. They do it all at Michelli Weighing and Measurement. They've done it for 75 years. Check out the website at Michelli.com. Michelli.com. So, USA Today listed a consensus mock draft today. And so what they did was they took Brian Kalbrowski's draft at USA Today. They took the latest mock draft from The Athletic, ESPN, Bleacher Report, Sports Illustrated, NBA DraftNet, and The Ringer. So 7 of the most respected publications that put out NBA content, NBA draft content, they took those 7 most recent mock drafts, averaged out the results, and spit out a consensus mock draft. They have the Pelicans at 8 overall, taking Ben Mathurin from Arizona. If the Pels do, in fact, make the 8th pick next week, the draft is Thursday, by the way. It's a week from Thursday. Today's Tuesday. I mean, we're talking 9 days away. If they turn in the card and pick Ben Mathurin, I'll be over the moon. From Arizona, lethal three-point shooter, also has amazing athleticism. Go look up some of his highlights and watch how he finishes, the explosiveness around the rim. It's exciting. A 6'6" wing who can fill it up from 3, is long and can defend, and explosive around the rim. If you look at comps, he's often compared to like a young Ray Allen, Jason Richardson, who spent 15 years in the league, averaged 17 points per game over the course of his career, which was actually higher until he faded those last few years. You know, on the lower end, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Terrence Ross, Tim Hardaway Jr., those are some of the names you hear. So you're talking about what type of player. Everyone who talks about this Pelicans team really talks about wing help. You seem set at your guard spots. If you can get a wing like Ben Mathurin from Arizona who can score either from the perimeter or finish around the rim, I'd love that pick if they turn in the card at 8 overall and it's Ben Mathurin. We'll find out a week from Thursday. If you're wondering, Tari Eason, the consensus pick for Tari Eason is 17 to the Houston Rockets. I've seen a ton of 16 to the Atlanta Hawks, but in this, the consensus mock was 17 to the Rockets. The best slot was 13. The worst was 23. So, again, you average out all the spots with having and spit out 17. So, that's right there. I still think that when you're looking at it, the most places I've seen Tari Eason picked is 16 to Atlanta. But 16 to Atlanta, 17 to Houston, that's about where we're expecting to hear Tari Eason's name called. And look, that's a guy that it would make a lot of sense if the Pelicans, and we talked about this with Andrew Lopez yesterday, if they have an opportunity to move back in this draft and they take the opportunity to do that, Eason's a guy that could be on the board where they might end up picking if they elect to move back in whatever type of trade compensation there may be. So something worth keeping an eye on. Again, it's by no means scientific. It's just opinions as you get closer and you start to crystallize how the draft may go a week from Thursday, where Tari Eason is right there bordering on a lottery pick. And then what the Pels do with the 8th overall pick, if they actually make that pick or if they trade it. It's going to be an interesting night a week from Thursday where you have a lot of reason, if you're a Pelicans fan, if you're an LSU fan, to be interested in that draft coming up in 9 days. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out our final break of the show. We'll come back. Jimmy will be here for Otter Locks. We'll find out what we're betting on tonight. Take a quick second to remind you about Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Tell you every day, do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. We do have a commercial division, so not only residential roof repairs and replacements, but commercial roofing as well. And we are hiring a commercial salesman. So if you have sales experience and you're interested in selling or have sold commercial roofing jobs in the past, we'd love to talk to you at Hudco Roofing. You can contact us today, 364-1007, 364-1007, or HudcoRoofing.com. Commercial or residential roof repairs or roof replacements, you can always get that free, no-obligation roofing inspection. If Ida blew through and you had roof damage and you haven't addressed it yet, give us a shout. We'd love to go to work for you at Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. A Louisiana company that employs Louisiana workers and uses Louisiana shingles. It's Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know, Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. All right, it's after further review. Final break. We'll come back. Wrap up with Outer Locks next.
AFR.
Join 100.7 The Tiger and Our Lady of the Lake Ascension Saturday, June 25th at the Lamar Dixon Expo Center in Gonzales.
Enjoy live music from Ted Durr, Mike Broussard and the Night Train, and Jamie Badron and the Kickin' Cajuns. Make sure you grab a delicious plate of jambalaya from the Mike Ward's Liberty Safes Jambalaya Cook-Off to raise money for the Alzheimer's services of the capital area.
The Swamp Pop Music Festival with Supreme Chevrolet.
Louisiana's country station.
100.7 The Tiger.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
after further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Tuesday edition of AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Better coverage for less money. Stop overpaying to be underinsured. Let our friends at Insurance Network of Louisiana take care of you. LAinsurance.net. All right, one thing left to do. Find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Bocage Barbershop in Bocage Village. Serving the Bocage, Goodwood, and Town Center area since 1959.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable and often incomprehensible, the Ott father himself, Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you?
Pretty good. How about you?
Had a good night last night, Otter. The Celtics first half bet did not hit, but
no.
Auburn on the money line hit.
Hello.
And I was listening to you on the way home, and I did play the Braves on the run line, which also hit last night. So a pretty good night for your boy.
There you go. Congratulations. We had Aaron Nola as well in that Alcantara.
And
what a matchup that was.
I know. And wait, did that hit?
Yes. Yeah.
So
3-2.
Did the Phillies win the game? Phillies
Yeah,
won the game,
3-2.
but he got a no decision. So
Correct.
I think I was driving, and I tried to make that bet on the app, and I think the line refreshed. I was like, let me just put my phone down. I never went back to it. So I didn't place that bet, but I should have.
Just pull off the side of the road in your friendly neighborhood store and just get your bets down.
Well, I was on I-10. I was on I-10, and I was like, let me actually be responsible. I'm just going to put the phone down and drive down the interstate because I'd be cursing out me if I saw that version of me doing that on the interstate. So.
Yes. But, keep in mind, when Boston comes back and wins Game 6, we'll have that plus 350 to play with.
I've already got that locked in.
And at this point, I'm going to put all of it, the 350, if they're like 160, Golden State. I'm putting it all on Golden State on the money line on the Game 7. I think they're going to hold serve at home, and it's just I think it's when it's all said and done, Game 4 is going to be the one that costs the Boston. I said it before the game, and he says, I still like you, bad up you got it. It's like, okay, Annie, I'm worried about this Game 4, but that thing really changed. I mean, Steph Curry doesn't hit a shot.
I know.
He doesn't hit a shot, and so those role players feel so much more comfortable at home. And Wiggins is getting better and better, and I think Steve Kerr's adjustments are making a little bit. Boston just turns the ball over so much. I mean, dribble? Can we a little dribble camp? Huh? A little dribble camp, please?
Little Pete Maravich instructional video?
Yes. Yeah, get the old VCR. Pete handles it.
What do we have anything tonight? I mean, are we looking at MLB? I mean, what are we doing? Are we looking yet at U.S. Open? What do we have?
Well, we got U.S. Open picks tonight and tomorrow night. A lot of them. Matt Newman, Wes Reynolds, Brady Cannon, all those guys. Randy McKay. But we're also, do we have anything? There's a trick question. Let's go. Great. Let's not stop the train now.
All right, let's go.
They're playing another trash team. And, man, what about Max Fried? He has been on fire as of late. The bats are good. Avi Albi's going to be out for a little bit. So that's going to hurt. But still, minus the run line on the road at Washington. That game getting ready to go in about 10 minutes. And our boys, the city of brotherly love. Let's go back to them again.
Okay.
If the Phillies can beat Alcantara, they certainly can beat Trevor Rogers. Rogers has been really good for Miami, not this year. 3-5 with a 5.58 ERA and a 2-to-1 walk to strikeout ratio. Strikeout to walk ratio. That's not good. Whip is well over 1.5. That's not good. Zach Eflin has been solid. We know about those Philly bats, and they're learning how to win. Got Joe Girardi out of there. They're rolling. So keep it simple tonight. Phillies minus the I think it's about 45.
All right, so money line on the Phillies.
Yes. And
run line on the Braves.
Atlanta.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. You said you had 3. What's the other?
Well, you want another one?
Well, you said you had 3. Do you have 3 or do you have 2? Don't give me one just to give me one. If you got one, give it to me, though.
Well, I bet it, if that's what you want to know.
Yes, give it to me.
All right, Kikuchi. That wasn't one of Dr. John's famous hits. It was could have been in the wrong place in the right time, right place, wrong time. But anyway,
so stupid.
Jordan Lyles has been giving it up. We're going with Toronto over 9. I think both teams should score quite a few runs tonight.
Okay.
In Rogers Center.
All right, over the 9. That's in the Baltimore-Toronto game, over 9. All right, we are locked in, Otter. Where are you tonight?
Right down the street, Dozy place. Your
Awesome.
favorite old-fashioned, cleaned up. Kind of renovated a little bit here in the Crown Town room where Mike Delicano and I do things. So our team to look at tonight, the over-under is the Chicago Bears. We've got Matt Humans' U.S. Open pick. A lot of stuff going on.
We'll look forward to it, Otter. Thank you.
Okay, buddy. Thank you.
All right, Game Time with Jimmy Ott follows us in Baton Rouge. If you're not in Baton Rouge, online at 1045ESPN.com or the Game Time with Jimmy Ott Facebook page. Muse, you learn anything today?
LSU's a bubble team in next year's March Madness.
Paulie, what you got?
I learned the 8 teams in the College World Series.
What'd you learn, Matt?
I learned who Dr. John is.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, remind you about South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified, pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. Can I clarify, by the way? I knew Dr. John was a musician. How about this? I learned Dr. John did the Blossom theme, and that Muso has never seen Blossom. But what I do know is that when you drive a Volkswagen, you're driving one of the safest vehicles on the road. Stylish, great performance, the great German engineering that you get with a Volkswagen without the cost. And they actually have inventory. Just before I left for vacation, they had 4 truckloads of vehicles arrive over at South Point Volkswagen. So if it's new or certified, pre-owned, you'll find it right now at South Point Volkswagen. Again, hit new or used vehicles right there at the top. You'll see all of their selection. You can even work out your financing on the website. So all you have to do is just drive over there to pick up your vehicle. It's at South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland or southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction?
The best things in summer are unofficial. Coors Light, the official beer of everything unofficial.
My own people call me an Uncle Tom. I play music. Been wined and dined by royalty. Trying to bring people together. All people. But regardless of all that kind of stuff, I'm still Louis Armstrong.
Here's the man you're waiting for, the king of jazz, Louis Satchmo Armstrong.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there.